Got
All
it?
right. And we are called to order at 7:05. Can everyone see the agenda for tonight?
Let's do the attendance first and then the agenda.
Yeah, I was just making sure they can see the
Oh,
screen
okay.
share.
Okay.
All right. And Madam Secretary, if you want to take attendance.
Okay. We have Tim,
Present.
Scott,
Present.
myself is here, Andrew, Dana,
Ah, yes, yeah.
Jay,
Here. Present.
Tori,
Here.
Raphael,
Here.
John,
Here.
Larry,
Here.
Leah, Angela,
Here.
Charles,
Here.
Mike,
Hello.
James,
Present.
Colin. Okay, so we have three absent.
All right. Thank you. And well, I think the screen
Yeah.
share just got turned off there.
Yeah, let me pull it back up. Here we go.
No problem.
Motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
You mind scrolling down a little bit? I can't see the whole
Second.
thing.
I'm trying to, and it's not quite doing it for me. Hmm. All I am seeing is let me just stop and start again because all I'm seeing is somebody's face. And I don't know why I can't see the own agenda that I'm sharing. Okay. Okay,
Hmm.
now I got it.
Yep, and now it's scrolling.
Okay. So we basically have the regular stuff. We have fusion voting and a motion on the PO box. Um, and then we have some new business mostly related to the convention and future meetings. So it should be a relatively easier meeting tonight. So I can go right into Larry made the motion to approve
Yeah.
that.
It has yet to be seconded.
Second.
Second.
All right. Is there any opposition to approving the agenda tonight, as seen?
Uh, I just have a question. Should we put anything on the agenda about accepting Justin's resignation, or can that only happen at a convention?
Um, I have to defer to probably Scotty on that one. He's a little bit more familiar with our bylaws and Roner.
No. Hey, Tim.
For instance, when Tim resigned, we officially accepted the resignation at the convention.
So we would just need a motion, maybe under new business, to accept the resignation. That makes it official.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that either, other than just past practices, which may or may not have been consistent with the bylaws, which is effectively when a resignation is put into writing, that it pretty much has been done. I mean, Justin did put it in writing.
Yeah.
So it won't hurt to accept it formally at the convention. I don't know if it's necessary to wait. I think we can also accept it now, and if it turns out that it's premature, then it's just void, and we go ahead and accept it at the convention anyway.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
okay.
hey, Tim.
Unless
Hold on.
someone here has seen this in
The bylaw says resignations must be delivered in writing. They shall be considered accepted immediately upon delivery to the secretary or chair or at a meeting of the executive committee. So I guess it sounds like it's been delivered to the secretary.
Yeah, that's
So,
an
Thank you.
or. Yeah, that's an
Thank you,
or. So
Mike.
that should, yeah.
okay.
All right.
Thanks for looking that up. That's a good point, though.
And
Okay.
I see your hand raised, Charles.
Yeah, I just want to mention that I didn't see my noticed motion on the agenda.
Well, we were talking about that a couple minutes ago. We thought that, anyway, we can add that to new business, I guess, but I thought it wasn't really officially ruled out of order, but
I ain't Tim.
I mean, I would have to defer again. I'm not up to date on our bylaws on that. I've heard debate on it. Um, so I mean, we could throw it in there and just debate it properly as a board, unless anyone has any opposition to that. It probably won't take long.
so the motion to, I'm sorry, can you repeat the motion to rescind the rescission?
Yeah, it's in the email I sent.
Okay, yeah, I got 6 screens up right now, so I'll grab it later. Well, okay.
Yeah, so long as we include it, I'll put it in the chat for you. So you can just add it and then we'll move forward. Not trying to hold us up.
Good, and I see your hand up, Scotty.
Yes, in my opinion, it is out of order for the simple reason that the bylaws say that you cannot remove an affiliate less than 60 days before a convention. Now, if it does come up as an agenda item, I would move on that basis to table it until the first meeting we have after the convention, to avoid even the appearance of anything that's out of order going against the bylaws. But to me, that just smells all wrong prior to a convention, especially since it is directly pertinent to representation of delegates in county conventions have already been had going up to the convention. It would just be completely out of order, in my opinion, to do anything more with it other than table it. And I would make such a motion to the first meeting after the convention.
All right. I mean, it hasn't entirely officially been added yet, unless you'd like to just table it for the next meeting, Charles. I think you can still do that at this point. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I put it in the chat. You're free to do what you wish.
all
All
right.
right.
We'll probably have that added to the next agenda. We've heard a couple of people say it's out of order at this point. That way we can address it without fear of that, if that's all right with you.
Can we just add it to the agenda, and then when Scotty moves the table, we just do that.
We can do that. Like I
Let's
say,
just
I'm
do that.
sure it won't take too long. And I'm not trying to stifle anyone here.
Yep, that's fine.
Uh,
All right, I did add that to the agenda, so did we have a motion already? I thought somebody moved to
yeah,
approve.
we did have a motion to approve the agenda, and it has been seconded, and we were actually on the vote, I believe, even. Is there a motion to call the question, perhaps?
So moved to on the agenda to approve.
I'll
Okay.
second the call.
All right. Quick vote on the call to question. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you. And now the vote to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, agenda is approved. Now we can.
Parliamentary inquiry, Chair.
I believe you should also ask for no votes, just to be clear when you're doing that. The way you did it previously with the, where you, ask for objection if there was none, that's a valid way of doing it. But if you ask for yes votes, you should also ask for no's, just to stay on.
Appreciate that, Mr. Johnson. Duly noted. All right, and now we are on previous minutes.
Okay, I just put the 11-9 minutes up. We had our basic reports, the new business. We talked about the platform committee. We made the motion to approve the convention contract. Notice, we talked about the notice. We talked about the PO box, which is back on the agenda. Libby Awards, fundraising ideas, activism committee, and then the fusion proposal. And he is back tonight also, or a different person is back tonight. So, and that was about it. We have one more group, which one more very short group, which I don't know if you want to approve them both at once. But last meeting that had simply the first part where before we went into executive session. I think this one's it. So this is the part that was the public part of the meeting where we spoke for and against going into executive session and releasing all the minutes. And then there are separate minutes to approve at an executive session for the executive session part. So we have two of these to approve tonight. They're both the public minutes. Does anybody need to see any of the rest of them, or?
I will say, I do see Mr. Patel's hand up as he's not a member of the board. I believe somebody would have to have a motion to allow him to speak.
Well, yeah, as the membership.
Is he speaking to the minutes?
I saw his hand go down. All right, Mr.
Okay,
Johnson.
you know what? He might have been asking because he did ask us to put the membership report, and I have that at the end of the meeting minutes in a PDF. So hopefully that answers his question.
I move to approve both the November the November 9th and the December 9th minutes as presented.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Charles, is your hand up for discussion on the minutes?
No, apologies. I thought I was gonna oh, Jeff's hand's back up. I was gonna request that Jeff speak.
We should finish the vote on the
I'll
minutes.
second that.
Yeah, let's finish the vote on.
Yeah, I believe we have to finish the
Or
vote.
just-
We are already on.
Agreed.
Does it have to do with the minutes though? Because anyway,
No,
he had
it
his
has to
hand-
do with the attendance and who the attendees
Okay.
are in this meeting, because I didn't hear a comprehensive attendance report, and I wasn't, there's a number of people, non-LEC members that are on this call that should be documented.
Yeah, I will be documenting that as soon as I get caught up on showing all these screens.
Okay, that was my only question about attendance, because you just kind of bypassed my attendance and others, so.
We talk about on the agenda? I
No,
don't
no,
usually-
this is part of the agenda. Okay, this is part of the attendance. Anyways, I'll lower my hand.
Okay.
That's my only question. Thank you.
Yep, okay, yep.
Thank you, Mr. Patel. All right, is there any discussion on the approving of the minutes? All right. I don't see anyone, so all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. All right, ayes have it, minutes are approved. All right, I believe the agenda disappeared from screen sharing.
So next on the agenda is officer reports. I'll get that one back up there, but
All right.
does anybody besides me have an officer report?
I mean, I'll report the fact that I am now the sitting chair as of very recently. Um, will do my best. I believe I have at least some adequate situational awareness on this position, so I look forward to that. Other reports is during the transition, I've received the PO box key currently that we have, and have signed off on a few outstanding documents that we're waiting to be signed. That's about all I have at this moment for chairman report.
Okay.
So.
Scott, did you have a report?
No, not this time. Talking about it, and it's kind of, well, I guess, other than, I guess my political director report would be that we don't have a political director, because that's the last position I've had up until about, 2 days ago, or something. I guess I'm willing to help out candidates as best I can in an unofficial capacity until we have an interim political director. I mean, one person cannot occupy two LEC posts. And I am now the affiliate director, which means I do have a little bit of a learning curve here in the sense of I need to get caught up with the affiliate leaders. And Tim agreed that he's going to be passing on whatever information he has from his interactions with the affiliates about what their current activities, concerns, and so forth are going forward into the convention. So I guess I'll be reaching out to a lot of affiliates, and at the same time reaching out to potential candidates in the days ahead. Also, I want to remind again that not two of us got elected already, and I'm assuming that Taylor for Chris Clark has probably the same beginning date, January 1st, as we do in Detroit, though I'm not certain of that. But I know at noon on January 1st, I will be transferred from being a Community Advisory Council member to being a police commissioner in District 4 of Detroit. And so I'm happy about that. Again, as ex-political director, kind of giving an exit comment on the whole thing. That's about it right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Scotty. I forgot what one's next. Our secretary report.
I'm next, and I did I'm going to really quickly go over my written report. I don't really want a lot of discussion because we have so much to go on. But I do we'll work closely with Tim on transitioning, and from now on the agendas and other party communications will be coming from me as stated in the bylaws. A newsletter is going out Monday or Tuesday, including convention information about the new chair. We will include thanks to Justin. Scott moves up. He already just talked about this, so we'll put out a notice for replacement for him. But this will be temporary until our summer convention, which I believe Mr. Teagan's position is also temporary till that time, correct? Or how does that work? Does anybody know?
Scotty
No.
is taking over my position as vice chairman.
Okay.
Essentially, vice chairs ascend up one level.
Okay, so the only opening we would be advertising is that first vice chair. Plus still the 11 and 12 district reps, which hopefully will be resolved at convention. And Scott touched on this too. After we really need to start focus on recruiting and assisting candidates. And I know now we're sort of without a second vice chair, but as communications chair, I really want to help whoever is in this job or recruit. We can do that so many ways: website, social media, etc. But I am working on updating our PR list to use for candidate promotions if anybody has ideas for media. And then very quickly on social media, we need help. Right now, our Facebook page is the only thing that's really active. I did put something up on LinkedIn because we finally were able to do that about the convention. But everything else right now is on hold until we have more people. I did want to make two very quick motions that I hope don't require a lot of time because these have been little annoyance issues that everybody I think agrees to. I wanted to request our IT director delete the inactive Facebook group she manages, which was started when we had two boards. She has agreed to do this at the direction of the board. And then I was hoping that we request Trevor Stepp, Paul Urban, or another administrator change the name of his Facebook group to delete the word party or add the word unofficial. And very quickly, the reason for these two motions is there's a lot of negativity in a lot of these groups, and we would prefer not to have like some of the bickering and a lot of the Trump posts on a public group that is affiliated with us, but a lot of other groups have changed their name without any issues. So if they don't agree to do it, they don't agree to do it. But I would like to make the motion that we request that.
Those were already on the agenda, correct?
We're on the Office of Reports.
I know, but you already had previously added them to the agenda before tonight?
These motions, yep.
Yep. Okay, I thought I saw them in there.
Yeah, they're right. They're right in the agenda.
So yeah, they're already approved.
So I just need seconds and votes on these. If anybody, I guess we should do it. First, the IT director deleting the inactive group. I'm making that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. I'm not going to take over the meeting. Sorry, Tim.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what is that not more in order to get them down into when we reach that point? Or
No, this is my report. So I just put the motions right into my report. I mean, I don't know if is it more accurate to put motions somewhere else, or does it matter?
I think you can make them at any time.
Yeah. So
okay, I just want to make sure we're doing that in order.
I know I'm not a Roberts. I'm counting on Angie because I don't know anything, but like I said, Jamie agreed to the first one, so that's a no-brainer. She just thought because of all the confusion, we should have direction of the board. So Larry, who made that motion? Who seconded? Somebody seconded. Angela seconded. So we can vote on that one, Tim. Or
Right,
discuss, unless there's any more discussion.
We take control of this.
Is there? I see a couple of hands have gone up. Is that for discussion on the motion of the moment?
Officer, it's for an officer report, but I'll
Yeah.
call the question since it doesn't seem like we need to discuss it.
My hand is up to discuss
I
it.
do
Oh,
see a
sorry.
couple of hands up.
Larry, go.
My hand's up about a bylaw issue, but I can deal with it after this.
All right, Scotty. Mr. Johnson?
First, I have a question. That is, if the group that we're speaking of on this motion is Michigan Libertarians Discussion Group Official, is that the one we're speaking about?
Yes.
Okay, and it's been fairly inactive. And the other group is Libertarians of Michigan Discussion, and then in parentheses, LPM-discussion, which is a kind of a non-official group, not directly affiliated with the party. And although it is the most popular of the public-facing groups,
Point of information, I think. No, she's talking about the one Trevor runs, the News and Cruise.
no, that's a separate motion.
No, there's two motions. The other one already has the word unofficial added. Dana's group has the word unofficial added, and that's all we're asking them to do.
There's only three groups I'm aware of. That is the News and Cruise group, which is run by Trevor. And according to my view of the admins, only Trevor, which I assume means that Andrew is also on there, but I can't see him because he has most of us blocked. Then there's the so-called Dana group, which I'll just use that as a shorthand. And then there's the official group, the one that says it's official. Those are the only three that exist. And
Right,
if
and where I'm talking about number 1 and 3, because the other one already says unofficial.
which
I'm
one
talking
says
about Dana's group already says unofficial.
no, it doesn't. It says Libertarians of Michigan discussion, and then in parentheses, LPM discussion. Doesn't say anything about it being unofficial or anything like that.
I think Dana
It
did.
does in the about page.
In the about. Thank you. Thank you, Dana. All right. So the one we're talking about taking down is the official group. I'm not sure if we should do that because that is the official discussion group, the public facing group. Maybe we should start using it somewhat.
It's not even connected to the party anymore. It's not. It was created by a separate board. I think it needs to go. But it's just that if we create something that's official for the party, we should be monitoring it through our page, and I don't have time for that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That maybe it would be better to create a different group that is connected to this. That one is not. Yes.
Once we have somebody who wants to deal with it, because I don't. But anyway, there's two. So the two issues is just Jamie's group, which is inactive, but it's still confusing, and it still has stuff on there from the past we don't need on there, and then Trevor's group. Just to ask them to either remove the word party or add the word unofficial. So anyway, did we ever take the first? We never took the vote on the first one. We're sort of talking about this.
Yeah, we haven't done any votes yet. Is there anyone else that wishes to discuss on that topic? And Scotty, your hand's up for a bylaw thing, correct?
Correct. I even put it in the email. I'm in the the chat.
So is that for your report, or is that for old business or new business?
It pertains to the vacancy of the political director.
Okay.
All right. In that case, we will proceed to a vote. Do a voice vote first. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, vote passes. We'll send that request out. And for the second motion,
just simply to request that Trevor Step delete the word party from his group or add the word unofficial.
Right,
we just need a second. Oops, sorry, just need a second.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right, seconded by Ms. Thornton. Is there any discussion on that?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Johnson.
Just real quickly to summarize for people who may not be aware, a couple of months ago, we discovered that the Libertarian Party of Michigan page, which is different from a group, it's our official blue check mark page, was listed as an admin of Libertarian Party of Michigan News and Cruise. No, let me finish, please. And once we started asserting and using that page as an admin on that page, it was removed as an admin, leaving the only visible admin to be Trevor Stepp. As I said before, I also assumed that Andrew Chatterton might be an admin also, but the vast majority of us on this LEC are blocked by him and therefore would be unable to see if he was. Trevor is the only one that's visible to me. The fact that they removed the Libertarian Party of Michigan page as an admin of the News and Cruise group basically shows that they don't want it to be an official group. And as such, they should remove the name Libertarian Party of Michigan. They can call themselves Michigan Libertarians or whatever they wish, but the Libertarian Party of Michigan should be removed. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mike Saliba, your hand up was next.
Oh, I'm going to put it down. I just had a... Never mind.
All right. And then goes back to Scotty. Your hand was next.
Yeah, and I physically rose my hand alongside since that bylaw thing is separate from this matter. In my opinion, since he's sitting in on the meeting as a guest and his name has come up, I think it would be appropriate if he wishes to chime in on this to let Trevor Stepp speak about it.
I would agree with that. Second it, whatever is required.
Yeah, I believe it has to go to a vote to allow a non-board member to speak unless I'm wrong. Feel free to correct me. If Mr. Stepp would like to speak on that. We already have a motion and a second, so I need to call it. All right. All in favor of allowing Mr. Trevor to vote, speak if he would like, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
It passes. Mr. Trevor Stepp, would you like to speak in regards to this at all? He is still here, correct? Yep. Would you like to speak to this, Trevor, at all? Give him a few seconds in case he didn't hear, in case he doesn't know he's muted.
I would like to say that Trevor agreed. Trevor and I had an agreement to remove us as a administrator, so I don't know why. I don't think he would have an issue, but
All right. Well, he is currently still muted and silent. Trevor, if you do wish to speak past this, you can raise your hand. I'll definitely acknowledge you. But I suppose we'd be moving on. Miss Carver, you had your hand up next.
I just kind of wanted to reiterate what Larry said. This group was created in opposition to my group, honestly, because they kept blocking admins, so we kept suspending them. So they apparently thought they needed a free place to speak, but then when they created theirs, they immediately blocked most of the party, just like they did with the official page. They just need to make it unofficial, and that should solve the problem. And like, cease and desist, please.
All right. Thank you, Miss Carver. Any more discussion before we proceed to a vote? All right. All in favor of making a formal request on that matter, please say aye.
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 I
All opposed? All right. Vote does pass.
Please
We'll make
record
that-
me as an abstention. I could not hear any conversation due to connectivity issues.
Sure thing, Mr. Duke. All right. Well, we'll make that formal request because that motion passed. And is that the finalization of your officer report, Miss?
it is, yes.
Thank you. I believe the next officer report would go to Mr. Duke for the treasurer report, if there's anything.
Yes, I do have a report, and since I've got the floor, any votes that took place during the secretary's report, that would be an abstention from me, if I missed any. So my report is that our general account has $790, state account has $1,213, and our federal account has $13,016. In the month of November, we had $1,327 of income from dues and presumably for the convention. We had $2,650 deposit made for the convention center. That's an expense. Another expense is $807 for an insurance payment and a $572 reimbursement to Trevor for printed materials. We also had about $400 of in-kind donations for various IT services. Regarding Oscar Rodriguez's retainer, On Monday, December 8th, the former chair reached out via email to him, including me and the secretary. Mr. Rodriguez has not responded to that communication. I have since followed up and am awaiting reply. I'll continue to reach out to Mr. Rodriguez this week and report back to the board if any new information becomes available. We have also unfortunately had some fraudulent activity on our state account. There were 4 Amazon transactions totaling about $100 that were unauthorized and appeared to be made from a debit card. Our state account does not have a debit card or credit card associated with it. The only authorized cards that I was aware of were to the general account issued to Justin and me. I contacted Fifth Third Bank and investigated. They were able to tell me that the card used was the one issued to Justin and that it was incorrectly linked to the state account. I contacted Justin and he confirmed that he did not make these transactions and that he never received the debit card. That card has been canceled. Fifth Third will be issuing a fraud investigation and will give a temporary credit of the amounts. I will continue to deal with this issue and report back by week's end. That is the end of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Duke, and thank you for your diligence on that matter. I did
Will
see.
you email that to me, Andrew?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Thornton, did you have any questions for the treasurer report?
I did. I have, because we don't have a budget, we're not supposed to be paying anything that's not approved by the board. So I think that we need to make a couple of motions here to, to ratify those payments. And I don't know exactly how to do it. I move we ratify and approve the payments that Andrew just listed. I know one was for our board insurance, one was a reimbursement, and I don't remember what the third one was. But I would just move that we vote to ratify those, and then after that, I have another motion to make in the same vein. So, can I get a second on that?
Second.
All right. Shall we put it down as a motion to ratify current and past expenditures?
Point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
I believe we have already authorized those, and if there is some misunderstanding on my part that we have to have a further budget approved, then I would agree with Angie. We don't have an approved budget, but we authorized the convention expenses, the reimbursement, and the insurance. I believe that fell under all previous authorized reoccurring transactions, but I can't nail that one down.
Point of information.
Yes.
Is the reimbursement the one to Trevor? Because I know for sure we voted on that one.
It is.
So that was approved.
Yes. All the expenses, the convention expenses.
I could be wrong, and I'm sorry for butting in here, but I thought that we agreed that we weren't going to pay anything the previous board had approved, that we were going to go through and re-examine those again. So
we did.
Yeah. So and I'm not trying to make trouble here. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is done
In order. Yeah.
in order. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your diligence in that, Ms. Thornton. That you did bring a motion. It has been seconded. Is there any discussion on Ms. Thornton's motion? See Ms. Carver, Scotty and Ms. Carver's hands went up. Scotty, I believe you were first.
Yeah, I wanted to amend that to include recurring subscription expenses such
I would,
as
can we
the
wait till
Zoom
my next,
account
Scotty, can we
and
wait till my
the
next motion? My next motion will cover
web
that.
hosting and domain payment.
My next motion will cover that.
Thank you.
Are you withdrawing your motion or just waiting on a second, Scotty?
Assuming that is covered in Ms. Thornton's motion, I have no objection to handling it that way.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Ms. Carver, you're next.
Well, I'm really hoping that Miss Canny's next motion is to have a budget, because I did motion for this a few months ago because of this issue. There are recurring payments, and we did make a motion to not pay those payments until we approved them. And I don't want to keep having this retroactive payment thing and reimbursing thing. If we just get a budget, then we can do this. So yeah, I mean, we did make that motion. It does exist.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carver. Any further discussion on this matter? All right. We will proceed to a vote on that motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
All
Who's
right.
that? I'm sorry, who is that?
Larry.
Okay.
I abstain. This is John.
All right. Hearing that, the ayes do have it. And a note, Ms. Secretary, every vote thus far I've abstained on, in case that hasn't been noted.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Chair, do I still have the floor to make my second motion?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll put this in chat for you, Donna.
Okay.
I move to authorize the treasurer to pay routine operational expenses up to $800 until a budget is so adopted.
Second.
All right. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on Ms. Angela's motion?
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Bowman?
And I want it's pertinent to this vote, but it's also something that I really need to put toward Mr. Duke if he knows the answer, which is and I believe we have separate web hosting bills, one for the main site and the domain through Civi, or not Civi, whatever the new thing we got with I think it's Molman or someone, and then we also have the historical archives, which may or may not still be with Domainit. I don't know if that was somehow transferred as well. Is the total of those expenses, when that does come due, and I don't even know what the date is that under $800?
One of the in-kind donations to Molman, however it's correctly pronounced, was paid. And then there is a reoccurring one of about $50 a month, which has also been paid in kind.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Ms. Carver?
As someone who has done a ballot initiative and had to deal with this stuff, in-kind donation usually means that we don't pay for it. Like it's a free thing. So I'm kind of confused by this. In-kind donation means they donate their services, so they get to write it off on their taxes. And yeah, we don't pay dollars for that. If we pay dollars, it's an actual expense. In-kind means we don't pay dollars.
I can be more precise for you. Those that have paid these services without going through the board, through the party, Justin, Jamie, and me have just paid on our own cards.
And are we reimbursing that? Or
As a point of information to clarify for Donna, it's considered an in-kind donation because under FEC regulations, they count it as a dollar donation to the party, but it never actually went through our hands. Therefore, it is called an in-kind donation. It'd be the same if somebody printed off a bunch of stuff and just paid the bill, that would also be considered an in-kind donation.
Right, that's what I was saying, because I've done this before. I went with my ballot initiatives. I just wanted to make sure, because it was kind of confusing the way it was said. I thought we were paying it, but if we're not paying it, then it's in kind all day long.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Carver. Mr. Bowman, I see your hand's gone back up.
Yeah, I think it's important that then, and I believe Mr. Duke would be the person filing reports with the FEC, and to the degree that political party does with the state, that we make sure that these in-kind contributions are included with the disclosures, so we don't run into any problems later with that.
Yes, Scotty, they will be. And to Dana, the three of us are not asking for reimbursement. That is what makes it in kind. We have each, in our own way, stated that we're not going to ask for reimbursement. And here's my official one to everyone.
Yeah, I'm aware that's what in kind means. I just went the way you said it, it didn't make sense. All right, but cool.
All right. And thank you on behalf of this board, Mr. Duke. We appreciate that. Mr. Johnson, I see your hand has gone back up.
I saw Mr. Essner's hand up before mine, and Scotty still has his up. I don't know if either one of them have.
Is waiting
I'm just waiting to make my officer report. That's all.
Okay. Then I would like to call the question.
Thank you. I believe calling the question needs a second, and we have to vote on that real quick, if I'm not wrong. Thank you. All right. All in favor of calling the question? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right. Question is called. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
My position.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay. All right. Is there any abstentions? Other than myself? All right. Motion passes. All right. And now I believe we will be going to the committee reports, unless I'm mistaken. I know Mr. Essner has been waiting patiently for that, so the floor is yours, Mr. Essner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Second. For activism and fundraising, I don't have anything at this time. For legislative, or not legislative, for litigation with Comerica, there have been a few things that have been circulating, and so I have a quick report, which will not be, which we have confirmed with several members and the chair that we do not think is going to be breaching executive session. If there's more that we want to say, we would need to go into executive session and then discuss further statements or anything of that nature. So basically my report is that I am confirming that the Libertarian Party of Michigan, we have a lawyer who is going to be working on the Comerica case. The goal is to settle the case, to return the money from escrow to the party, LPMI. This is because it was notified that this needs to be done quickly by the court. And when I mean quickly, I mean by 12/18, or else we need to file in some way, shape, or form. So that's what motivated the urgency. And if we want to make a larger statement, I request that we go into executive session or something so we don't, accidentally say something that shouldn't be said. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Can I just ask a quick question, Charles? Has the contract been signed and the money been released to the lawyer?
The contract, we have yes. When I say we confirm the lawyer, that means that yes, Tim did sign.
Yeah, I signed that moment before our meeting.
And how
Yeah,
about
that was in Tim's report.
and the money's on its way, I assume then?
Andrew has not been informed yet, so I don't really want to get too much further into this.
No, well, that's a question that we should know, that everybody should know. But okay, that's all I had.
Yeah.
we're gonna pay the money in time.
The best of my knowledge, yes.
All right. Is there any other committee reports before we move on?
Oh, yeah, membership.
All right, membership committee, you have the floor.
Will you allow me to share my screen?
Um,
I just did, so it just asked me if I would, and I said yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, this is a membership report from last month. It was just sent, before the meeting today. You can see we went up 28 to 289. That includes 9 new members. There's a question on how many new members we had in the last few months. It's on the lower right here. By month. We did have a new lifetime member join and 9 new members. And then as state leaders, Ryan cannot export CiviCRM data, so that's somewhat problematic because he's the one who's doing these reports. So this is the report itself, and I just want to make one more announcement. I will be resigning as membership committee chair at the end of the year, not due to anything related to the board. It's just I've been doing it for 6 years. I'm ready to turn the reins over. We have a pretty good functioning committee on membership. And the key players in that committee that have been consistently attending and actually doing work are Ryan Henry, Tori Hendricks, and Leah Daly. We have a couple of new folks involved, Jordan Martin and Jared Fisher. But at this point, I need to resign, and I would recommend the LEC appoint Mr. Ryan Henderson as membership committee chair. So feel free to discuss that or push it to next month. Ryan is here presently, but that's my recommendation to assure continuity. With regard to myself, I will continue on membership committee. And there's a number of different tasks that membership committee does that, we're kind of going to reshuffle the tasks perhaps. But that's status of membership committee, and as far as the report goes. So that's the first part of my report. The second part of my report is the holiday card. So I want to discuss that. But before I get to holiday card, any questions on membership committee report?
Scotty, is your hand up for a question for Mr. Dunn?
Yes, it is.
Are you recognized?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Jeff, I just want a little clarification. Would you be able to hang on through the next meeting? And the reason I'm asking this is I think while you've made a recommendation, I believe it is our practice to put out notice when such openings arise to give other people an opportunity. And of course, Mr. I think you said Mr. Henderson.
Ryan Henry's online.
I'm sorry, Ryan Henry. That we certainly, he would be among those able to request appointment. But I believe in the past we've made announcements ahead of time to the availability of appointments. And if you could stay on until the next meeting where we could make a decision and select another chair for continuity, I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll stay till the next LEC meeting. I will, for continuity though, I definitely recommend Mr. Henry. I don't want to bring somebody who's never been in a committee, never used CiviCRM to the committee. So anyways, thanks for the feedback. So I want to talk about holiday card now, if I may.
Yes.
Okay. I want to discuss the holiday card expenses. We were authorized to spend $1,500 at that time. We assume we were only sending out holiday cards to LPMI members as we did. done in 2024. Then the addition of the call to convention, which expanded the number of recipients significantly. Plus, there was a bifold card now to include all the information for call to convention. That got a little more expensive as well. Well, the bottom line is there's about 865 cards that we had needed to send. Excuse me. So I had to print the donor forms, which are the inserts in the cards that allow people to, return a check or, well, basically allows people to return a check to the PO box. I did not have to expend any money on labels because I had those. And I had to expend money on return envelopes, which are part of the donor printing the form. They use the return envelopes to send the donor form. And the big expenses were these two, 700 for 900 first class stamps. And Leah had to purchase the holiday cards, which were $1,300. Those include the envelopes, and again, they were bifold. And she had to purchase 1,000 because they didn't really allow the increments are 250. So 750 was not enough. So we need to go up to the next increment, which is 1,000. That's why 1,000 were purchased. So the bottom line is 1,500 approved, but we spent 2188. So we want to get reimbursed for that. That's a significant expense for Miss Daly and myself. And I will be submitting this, but I'd like to get approval for the additional money as well. So I'd request one of the board members to authorize this approval for this additional expense for these cards. The cards were assembled over the weekend, and I believe they would go out Monday. And we had a great crew involved to do that. It took us like 4 hours, and we did consult with Mr. Gelat prior to doing this because he had, offered to assist with his company, and it was not feasible within what we wanted to do. So,
yeah, it was too bad.
In any event, so that's the holiday card report, and again, you look for those coming up in the next week. They should be mailed tomorrow. Any questions?
I do see a few hands up here. Mr. Johnson, I believe you are first.
Mr. Patel, what was the overage that was spent?
62188.
Thank you, Donna. I move that we approve that amount of money to be reimbursed to Mr. Patel and Ms. Daly for their efforts in getting this card out in a timely fashion.
I'll second.
Second, yeah.
All right, motion
And
has
thank you for their labors.
been seconded. Is there any discussion on the reimbursement?
I can speak. Just a quick note. We don't have the funds to cover that right now in the general or state account, and I would apportion it appropriately because we combined holiday, which I would say is general account, and convention notice, which can be the state account. We are running the red line.
All right, thank you, Mr. Duke. Okay, Mr. Carver, I see your hand up.
I would just like to say that in the future, we approve this, approve it before it happens. Because there's been a lot of this reimbursement kind of stuff going on for the past few years that never used to happen before. And those cards were not the best. They had a picture of a person who hated our party. And they just got sent out and none of us got to vote on it. And now we owe extra money. It's kind of crazy.
The chair approved the content and the design of the card.
Thank you, Ms. Carver. Mr. Esner, I see your hand up next.
Yeah, Andrew, do you know approximately how short we are?
If you want me to do some quick math,
Ballpark, like $100, $200.
Please repeat how much was. Well, can we give me
600.
two numbers? What was the holiday?
625 basically is the number.
Is that for the holiday card or for the convention notice?
Total. Both.
That's over and above the 1,500 is already approved. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's about 620, 25 short.
We are about $200 in the green.
All right.
In the
But-
red, you said, because you said we were short.
I was speculating based on the numbers I was hearing. We are $200 above zero.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew. I am gonna go make a $50 donation. Anybody who wants to join me, please help out. Thank you.
And of course, that doesn't include what we are expecting to receive from these cards and future convention. Just that is today's date.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Duke, for that.
that's a good point. Make sure when you get those cards, you send them back with money.
Yep. Mr. Scotty, I see your hand up next.
Yeah. I'd like to then amend the motion to have to approve the payment when funds become available.
They are
hopefully,
They are
pardon?
available. They are available.
Oh,
We are in the
okay.
green, actually.
Okay, so we are not behind that far now. Okay. Well, thank you to those who have contributed, and thank you.
Mhm. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Is there any further discussion before we put this matter to a vote? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
One nay from Ms. Carver. Any abstentions other than myself? All right, vote passes. We will get them reimbursed.
All right, I will
Um,
submit expenses in a formal fashion to Mr. Duke and yourself, Mr. Teagan. So look for that in email. And also, I do have some additional expenses that we can talk about that to this sum, which is 8181. But I believe that we had a budget for membership at the beginning of the year of 1,000, and I've only spent 663 in exclusive membership. So, in any
No.
event, I was submitting all these expenses. It's $88 here or 8181 here, and then the other one on a holiday card for myself, and then Miss Daly. I'll probably just send her expense to you as well. Okay.
All right. Thank you very kindly for that, Jeff. And again, thank you for your previous 6 years of service for us in the party as chairing that committee. You will be missed, and I'm sure this board will take your recommendation to high sincerity.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on the committee, just FYI.
Yes, I heard you say that, but still, I appreciate your efforts.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Is there any other further committee reports before we move on? All right. Miss Secretary, could you pull back up the agenda?
Yep, just a second.
No
We are
problem.
on what the heck?
Announcements.
Announcements is next. Does anybody have any announcements while I'm pulling this up?
All right, Mr.
Yeah.
Escher, see your hand up.
Yeah, I haven't quite completed, but my announcement is if you're able to donate to the party if possible. Um, I plan on donating to help
Why does it
with
keep?
these expenses.
All right, appreciate the announcement. I should be able to contribute some money myself, and anyone who has some spare change, that would be appreciated. All right, next hand up, Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is even the right time, but doesn't look like there's a whole line of announcements anyway, so we may not be able to vote on this till open floor. But what I posted in the chat for those who didn't see it, I guess I can announce that when, and I'd appreciate if the chair let me know when he believes it's in order, when it becomes in order for me to move this, that we do put the political director on the agenda of the convention, because what I posted here is Article 6, Section 4, Subsection 5, that the executive committee shall notify every Libertarian Party of Michigan resident and National Libertarian Party member whose dues were current within the past 3 years of the convention date, time, and location, no less than 30 days prior to convention. The 60 days notice involves the affiliates. So I do believe the clause I know is more general than that, but my impression is that with notice, as far as agenda items to the actual convention itself, rather than that there will be a convention and what date it will be, would be 30 days, in which case the position did become vacant within sufficient time for notice. I'm just trying to follow the bylaws. I don't really, beyond that, am pushing anything else on this.
Can we add this to new business since we have a guest, or old business? It's not really a report.
I will accept that if it is in order to move it to new business. I didn't know where it should go because it was already after the agenda was approved.
I think we could be able to add that under our new business unless anyone can.
We have open floor, which is probably more legally appropriate, but either way.
But we will come back to address that further down the line, Scotty. Either in open floor or in new business. I believe open floor would have been more appropriate, but
whichever you rule.
I'd say put it under open floor for tonight. Is there anyone else who has any announcements before we continue? All right. Suppose I will conclude announcements. And I do not have the agenda in front of me at the moment. Ms. Secretary, what's our there it is.
Member comments.
On the member comments. If anyone would like to speak. I see is that Mr. Bromgart? Joe B?
His eye.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Do we need a motion to allow him to speak, or is he allowed to speak under member comments?
Member comments is when he's allowed to speak.
Yeah, public. Yeah, that would be the same as public comments.
Appreciate the clarification. All right, Mr. Bromgart, the floor is yours.
Thanks. I would just like to point out that I think it's a really bad precedent to set that we allow for folks to go over budget and then retroactively approve amounts after the fact. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Bromgart. A little inclined to agree there. Any other comments? Mr. Jeff Patel. Floor is yours.
Thank you for yielding the floor. I would like to make the comment that this initial request for a holiday card, then it was amended to include call to convention. That basically almost doubled the number of recipients. So therefore saying going over budget, well, our budget was for holiday card, not for call to convention. Two different things. So once the call to convention was, we didn't really know the exact number. We didn't know that until we basically compiled the data after it was stated this would be a call to convention. Okay, so that's my only comment.
Thank you for your clarification on that, Jeff, and we appreciate that. Any further comments from anyone? Floor is open. All right. Seeing none, we will move on to old business. First one being the fusion voting. And I believe we had a Mr. Mark here to speak to that. Okay, could be wrong on the name.
I'm Mark Brewer, hopefully one of your lawyers, but also with me are Andy Craig and Dave Palmer for any questions you all may have.
And I'll just, if I could chime in briefly too. We largely went over the gist of this on the last meeting. I'm very happy to hopefully have you all on board for this. The main thing going forward is we have the contract, and I see that Donna has a motion to accept that, but kind of going forward on this, Mark is going to be Bill's attorney, who's going to be really taking the lead on this and being kept in the loop and can answer all your questions about kind of the plan or the details or anything like that. Myself and Dave at CBF will be involved a little bit, probably further down the road as the timing comes together on any possible events and public communications. So obviously Mark will also be in the loop on that. But that's kind of the plan going forward. So yeah, happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Craig. All right. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this?
I do want to speak on my motion. I believe that our party should be really involved in anything that helps us in the ballot box. And as we know, the ballot laws are slanted far away from third parties. If this is approved in Michigan, we aren't forced to use it. It just gives us another option. We have nothing at all to lose by this. They're paying for all this. This is their specialty. And I personally think it's a no-brainer that this would really be helpful to us if it were to pass and that we have nothing really to lose. So that's why I made the motion.
All right, appreciate that. Any further question? Ms. Carver.
Yeah, I just have one question because I read over all the things and I remember the meeting last time. I just wanted to double check one last time. We as a board would have, or whatever future board would have to approve, or convention would have to approve a fusion candidate, right? It just wouldn't automatically be somebody that fusioned with us, correct?
Yes, that's correct. You all in Michigan can nominate by convention. So it would be, I've been there. I've seen you do it. I've seen you reject a candidate who showed up wanting your nomination. And so, yeah, you would absolutely still have that option. It would not be, it wouldn't be like they could force it on you unwanted or anything like that. And you could still have your own party rules about membership eligibility or, how long somebody has to be a member or anything like that.
Thank you.
Mr. Craig. All right, next hand up I saw was Mr. Johnson.
Sorry for being a boomer. Yes. I just want to second what I've heard here so far. This doesn't mean we have to do anything. Doesn't mean we have to accept these candidates. As a matter of fact, we would have to change our bylaws in order to have a candidate that appeared on two different party names, which we might decide to do. This just gives us the option. And I think it's a really good idea.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Next hand up I see is Mr. Saliba.
I just have a question while we're talking about it. Is there any idea how this would work if we went back to primary status?
That would be more of a question for Mark. I am not sure offhand.
Fusion voting occurs in the general election, so it does not affect the nominating process of any party, whether it's by convention, as you all currently do it, or by primary, as a couple of the parties already do, and you may qualify for. It's all about voting in a general election.
But so hypothetically, I want to run as, two parties. Would I have to enter both primaries if both the parties I wanted to run for were primary parties, or?
That would be up to each party to decide, how it's going to nominate its candidates. And then as Andy indicated, whether or not it's going to use the fusion option.
All right. Does that answer your question, Mr. Saliba?
No, but I don't think there is an answer to my question, really. Well, I guess because when we do have primary status, because we have had it before, we didn't have control over who our nominees were. So I guess if we ever regained primary status, we'd be losing control of who our nominees were anyway. So whether or not they're fusion candidates, like the example I always gave was Kerry Bentivolio wanted our nomination once and we didn't give it to him. And then the next cycle, he ran in the Republican primary, but then we had our primary. And I told him once, I'm like, if you would have just put your name in our primary, you would have been our candidate because you would have been unopposed and there was nothing we could do about it. But with the fusion, I guess there'd be nothing we could do about it either if that's how primaries work. I mean, that's just in Michigan, that's how the primaries work. Like Republicans and Democrats don't really talk to their state parties. They just join the primary and, go.
Yeah, that's right. And that's kind of another certainly critique of having government run primaries and how they impinge on the party's autonomy. But this wouldn't change that either way.
It wouldn't make it worse.
Right. And the party can sometimes, when you have somebody you don't like, throw in somebody else to oppose them in the primary if that's the situation. I mean, I've seen that done successfully before in states where you had this similar problem.
Anything further to add, Mr. Saliba, before I move on? All right. I suppose hearing nothing else from Mr. Saliba, we will go on to the next hand raise. Mr. Bowman. You're muted, Scotty.
I'm going to preface what I'm saying by just acknowledging a couple things about the two guests we have today. Andy Craig worked closely with me and with Larry Johnson. Gary, not Larry, our board member. Gary Johnson, our former presidential nominee. And he played a big role in that campaign, which electorally was a huge success for our party. So I wanted to acknowledge his skills as an organizer. Also, I guess maybe not very many people here are familiar with Mark Brewer. I am, because I remember him as Democratic Party chair from way back in the day, and I like kind of crashed a luncheon he was hosting for a couple students in Carl Levin when I had a group called Students for Individual Liberty, and started giving my positions on guns to Mr. Levin, Senator Levin at the time. I wanted to acknowledge them, and I'm a little bit interested because and regarding Mike's question. And Mr. Mark Brewer, being more of an expert on major parties, can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe what would happen is if you wanted to, for instance, be a fusion candidate of the Democratic and Republican parties, just a hypothetical, that you would effectively need to petition for participation on the primary of both ballots. In other words, you would be able to circulate a nominating petition for each party, and if you were successful doing that, you could be the fusion, and they chose, both party voters chose you, you could be the fusion candidate. I don't know, is that right, Mr. Brewer?
It wasn't that long ago I was party chair. But look, this case is about striking down the ban on fusion. That's what this is about. After that, there have to be some changes in the state's election laws. But right now, we're just trying to get this ban out of the way so that fusion is available to all the political parties in the state. I'm a big believer in political parties. Major party, minor party, I think we need them all. But this focus is just on knocking out the fusion ban, which is really important. But then there will be other changes to adjust to that afterwards.
Thank you.
Is that all, Mr. Bowman? Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you. Going next is Mr. Essner.
Yeah, Scotty, Mark is well known. Even me being pretty young, I saw him on Off the Record a lot. I'm not going to say what I thought about it. Anyway, what I wanted to say is fusion voting. I believe Larry Sharp currently in New York is using fusion voting beyond. Is it We the People Party, which I think is RFK Jr. I see there's a Kennedy in the background over there, so that reminded me of that. I also think that he's also on the Libertarian ticket as well. I don't know if it's official yet, but that's what he's pushing for. So Libertarian Party is using it. I do want to also state that no voting system is really like a silver bullet. Like none of these, like you hear about all these ranked charges voiding, star, fusion. None of this stuff is a silver bullet. Any of these things that happen, it doesn't mean that the Libertarian Party all of a sudden gets people elected. Still have to put in the work, still have to do everything. It may be positive, it may be negative. Who knows? I don't think it's a problem personally, so I don't have an issue with it. I just want to make sure everyone doesn't have, we don't exceed have high expectations and then be super disappointed when it doesn't happen and feel like we got ripped off, because I do not anticipate this necessarily meaning that all of a sudden our governor candidate wins. Just to kind of put an example out there. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Essner. And next is Miss Angela.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say that I love this idea. I think that from where we sit, we currently have a lot of there's a lot of what some people think are good candidates in other parties. And I think that this could solve a lot of the internal squabbles we're having with that. We could just say, well, do we want this guy or do we want the other guy? Someone like, I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my mic. Someone like maybe Thomas Massey, if he were to decide to run for president, we would, and he asked us for our nomination too. I think a lot of us would be excited about that. Some of us might not be. Justin Amash is another one. If he decided to jump back in, if he could jump into two parties, he might be more interested in it. But I do have a question that I see in the chat from my husband. he would like to know, are there any other parties that are involved in this, like, or interested in this? Like, for example, the Constitution Party or the Taxpayer Party or the Green Party. And after that, you can go back to the next hand, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I'd be glad to answer that, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Okay. Our goal here in terms of representation is to have as broad a group of political parties, candidates, and voters as possible. This is not about favoring or disfavoring any party, any candidate, any group of voters. It's about this unfair ban on fusion. So we're in the process of assembling that group. But again, our goal is broad spectrum, cross parties, cross candidates, across voters.
All right. Thank you kindly for that, Mark. And Ms. Carver, your hand up is next.
Yeah, I just had one quick question because I didn't think about this earlier, even in the previous meeting. Is there any way this could affect our ballot access? Like, because we have to get so much of a percentage of the highest blah, blah, blah on the ballot?
No, this does not affect any party's ballot access and all those laws, whatever you may think of them. This is about striking down the fusion ban.
Okay, because I do not want to go get those 45,000 signatures.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carver. Is there any further discussion before we put this to a vote?
Call question.
All right.
Second.
Okay. Call to question has been called and seconded. All in favor of calling the question, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Question is called. All right. All in favor of this motion, I'm signing off on this, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And any abstentions other than myself? All right, it passes. So we will get that signed off. Is that a document that has to go to me as chair to sign over and send back to them, or?
Yes, we have a representation agreement that will be sent to you. And I want to thank all of you very much for this privilege, and I really mean that, of representing you. And I look forward to doing that and to striking down this ban on fusion in Michigan. Thank you.
Hey, Tim, one
Yep.
point for clarification. When you get that document, just make sure it states that we don't owe any money to anybody.
That's in there.
Good,
It
thank
says
you.
that.
That's very clear in the document.
Yep.
All right, I'll review that personally, and anyone else who wishes to review that with me, I can definitely send over. I'd appreciate that.
I sent it over before this meeting to everybody. They should all have it.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson, I see your hand went up.
I'm not sure if this is a point of information or orders of the day, but I do see that and I let it go through, even though I noticed that we had a item A that we skipped over that we need to go back to under old business.
We moved it around because when we were discussing the agenda.
I'm looking at the old emailed copy. Never mind then. I'll be silent.
Okay. Just because they sat through all this other stuff and I wanted to at least bump them up a little bit.
All right. The next thing on the table, I believe, was the PO box, unless I'm wrong, because the agenda should probably be brought back up.
Yes. Yes, it is the PO box, and we had this discussion, I believe, at the last regular meeting, and Justin told me that the box ends December 31st. So we need to make a decision once and for all. I liked his idea, which is to just make a motion to authorize Tim and Andrew to select a PO box costing up to $200. That way we're not all, those are the ones that have to worry about the money the most and they can make it instead. It really doesn't impact the rest of us, but we all discussed it last meeting. But anyway, that was my motion.
All right, Mr. Duke, is your hand up first?
A previous motion, I believe, has sufficiently covered this. We have $800 to work with, and if we can extend that to dealing with the reoccurring cost of the PO box, then we're covered. And a location would only be in order for what we need to discuss.
So would that be amending this motion to disclude, wrap the cost into the 800 previously voted on and to only limit the motion to location?
Well, I would change it just to authorize them to select a PO box and leave off the money, right?
Well, it'd have to be an amendment, so we'd have to vote on it since it's already been on an agenda that's
I
been
don't think
approved.
anybody seconded it yet. Did they? It needs a second so I could still change it before it's seconded. Is that right?
I
I
believe,
agree.
yeah, you're correct in that. All right.
So what does it become? Is that what you're saying, Andrew? Just to authorize you to select a PO box?
Yes.
Okay, that would be my motion.
All right. Thank you for that. And Mr. Bowman, your hand up is next.
Yeah, I'm very hesitant to approve any change in a PO box, and my reasoning is as follows. We have a lot of literature out there sitting around in people's hands, people's homes, whatever, that have the old PO box on it. There is literature we may want to recycle at events in the spring, sitting around in people's basements that would be a shame if we had to throw it away and start over from scratch. I'm not sure what the forwarding stipulations are that if someone else gets the old P.O. box, but it's addressed to the Libertarian Party of Michigan, will it get forwarded to our new P.O. box, or will that person just have discretion as to whether or not they want to do it or throw it away or read our mail?
They do it for 6 months. I'm sorry, I looked into this for my business when I moved in. They do it for 6 months. They were forward for 6 months.
Yeah, I could think of this going on longer. And it's less of a problem now that people use snail mail less, but it doesn't mean it's completely gone away as a concern. So, I guess I'm 6 months may not be enough time for that. I'd almost advocate if we weren't so broke, I'd advocate keeping both PO boxes, but only promoting the new one, and so that we could extend that forwarding for a much longer amount of time. But I don't know if that's cost effective anymore. Probably not, because we don't have that much money right now. That's my comment. I'm probably gonna oppose the motion unless some remedy to that is really out there.
Point of order.
Yes.
Has anyone seconded this? And we could just end discussion if not.
It has not yet been seconded.
Second.
It now has been seconded.
Point of order withdrawn. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Duke. Mr. Johnson, your hand up was next.
I was going to also point out that we just sent out a mailing with the Christmas card and that includes the convention information and a fundraising request, as all Christmas cards usually are. It sounds like the 6-month forwarding would adequately cover that if we decide to move the address. However, I saw somebody posted in the comments that it's $200 a year to extend the forwarding. That would be more than the rental of the box, quite likely. I believe we're in East Lansing now, if I'm correct.
Royal Oak.
No.
Royal Oak. And That is apparently a bit of a travel for either yourself or Mr. Duke.
Hey, do you mind if I make a suggestion?
Oh yeah, your hand up was next anyway. Yep.
I suggest that we motion to amend this to just leave it at the Royal Oak location for the next year, and that I will now have an excuse to go get a beer with my friend in Royal Oak, and I already have to drive down somewhat near that way, and I will agree to visit it once a month for the next 12 months.
Point of information, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
I believe there is also a 6-month renewal option that we could use and just kick this issue down the way a little bit until we have stabilized some other things like our finances.
Then I would amend what I was saying to be 6 months. I'll agree to visit 6 times next 6 months.
So you're making the motion to amend my motion to
basically leave it the same address.
To authorize Tim T and Andrew D to manage, to keep the same address. I mean, that's really,
We
keep the same PO box.
We would have to have another key made and authorize you to pick up from the PO box, to my knowledge. With that distance, I can say I can probably stop in there twice a month. Thing is that a lot of these documents need to go to Mr. Duke as far as urgent things like our bills. So that's I suppose the main reasoning behind the motion to move it somewhere closer to Mr. Duke.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it out there. It hasn't been seconded. I will leave it out there that I will volunteer to make sure I show up at least once a month for the next 6 months, possibly more if we think that there's something urgent. Just let me know. I already have to drive down several times a month, not necessarily right to Royal Oak, but on the way. So
I would
I
second. I second your amendment. If somebody was willing, because it was Jeff before and he just resigned, so that's,
yeah.
I don't know why any urgent bills could be sent to Andrew via email, right? I mean,
true. I think I'm slightly speaking out of turn, but I think I am speaking out of turn a little bit, but I do think that I think if we're sending out something right now with an address for Royal Oak, it makes sense to at least 6 months, if that's the rule, that we can do a 6-month renewal. We can visit in 6 months. By then, we'll have a lot of stuff filtered back in, and we can also discuss this further. Possibly for the next convention, we can notice it with a different PO box number, and then this wouldn't be an issue. But I think having just sent stuff out with Royal Oak info on it might be a problem.
All right. And the clarification on your amended motion, it is to both authorize you access to our PO box and to keep the location for the next 6 months.
Yes, for the next 6 months. Just.
All right, and your motion has been seconded. We'll go to the next hand up now. That is Mr. Saliba.
Yeah, I just wanted to second pretty much everything Scotty said. I think it could cause some issues. So yeah, if we keep it for at least 6 more months, we can check it then. But I just wanted to reiterate everything Scotty said as well, because I also think all those things.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Saliba. Mr. Bowman, your hand up is next.
Yeah, given that he was talking about once a month, I'm guessing Mr. Essner lives a substantial distance from Royal Oak.
About 45 minutes.
Yeah, whereas I live maybe 25 minutes. So, and Mr. Saliba probably lives slightly closer. I'm just saying, depending on who you want to authorize, it doesn't seem that problematic to have a designated person who's able to visit the box frequently, and in the event something physically has to be transferred over to someone more distant, that would require an extra trip. But usually it's just information that can be scanned in or photographed in or whatever and transmitted then electronically to whoever needs to receive it. So that, I mean, that's kind of how I'm looking at it, that we could have a designated person that's given a key, such as Mr. Essner, but maybe someone that lives much closer willing to do it, and just make sure that person, reliably gets the mail. It seems less problematic than getting a new P.O. box.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bowman. Definitely something for this board to take into consideration. Miss Thornton, you had your hand up next.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that when we had this discussion last time, I asked Mr. Patel if he would be willing to continue to check it even after he stepped down as chair of the committee, and he said yes. So, I mean, that's just another factor. We may not need to change anybody if Jeff is still willing to do it, even though he's not the chair.
All right, that's a good thing to note. Thank you for that, Angela. Next, Mr. Saliba.
And to also follow up on Scotty again, yeah, I would volunteer to be the person. If we want to take turns doing it every other week, I would be that. If somebody needed me to cover it, it's not bad. I mean, 696 I think is still messed up right now, but yeah, I can get there pretty quick if I wanted to.
All right, I appreciate that, Mr. Saliba. I mean, at this point, maybe a suggestion is just another amendment to the motion to authorize certain individuals that would volunteer.
So moved.
Second.
All right. As far as individuals that volunteered, I've heard Essner and Mr. Saliba to authorize those individuals to have access to our PO box and to move any physical copies of mail or bills where needed to be. And
Okay, can I just have a point of order really quick? This is an amendment to his amendment, or?
two amendments.
Yep. Yeah, we're two in.
Okay.
We can't go any further.
So you are I just want to summarize what I've heard so far. You move to amend to authorize Jeff, Mike, Charles. Who was the other one? I'm sorry. Larry? No.
No, the wording was just other individuals as needed. I don't think we were getting specific names. He just referenced those names.
Oh, you want to? Okay, so Tim is just moving that we authorize certain individuals.
I mean, I can't move. I was suggesting as a motion, and it was so moved by Miss Carver.
Yeah. Let's not name them. Let's just.
Okay.
We can suggest Mike, Charles. We'll work together. We'll figure it out.
Keep this. Okay, so keep the same PO box for the next 6 months, using volunteers as authorized, right? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but do the individuals not need to be named to have legal access to a PO box?
I think we could just put volunteer board members instead of just like leaving it open, and I think that would be specific enough. But oh, that's Jeff is not a board member. Never mind.
He's already authorized.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Prior authorization.
So keep the same PO box button using volunteer board members as authorized.
Yep.
Or at least
months.
Okay. It would be great to have all these people working on it and keep it the same.
I'll pay to make the keys out of my own pocket, so party won't have to worry about that.
Okay. Okay, so the motion, the amendment was seconded, and we've had discussion. So we need to approve the amendment, and then because we made it into one amendment.
Yeah, we are now on second amendment. I do see Mr. Johnson's hand up.
You want to call it?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I make a motion to call all the previous questions.
Second.
Thank you. All right. All in favor of calling all previous questions, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. All right, we will call all questions. And correct me if I'm wrong, when we call all questions, as soon as we vote on one of them, it just passes with that amended motion, correct?
No, that was what Justin
It
thought.
requires separate votes on each level.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yep.
just wanted to clarify that before continuing because I heard some back and forth on that. All right, so for the second motion, as we just discussed, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, all opposed, say nay. Any abstentions other than myself? All right, the Second Amendment passes. The First Amendment, I think, is mute at this point, but all in favor of the First Amendment, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. All right, any abstentions other than myself? All right, so if two amendments pass, are they both combined together or just a little want to clarify on that?
The Second Amendment is part of the First Amendment, which is what we approved. And now we move to the main motion.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the clarification on that.
Which is now sort of the opposite of what the motion really is, which is fine. I think we ended up in a better place. So
Yeah,
we're
all right.
basically voting again. We're basically voting again on the amendment because that replaced my motion.
Yep. All right. So all in favor of the main motion, say aye.
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 All opposed, say
Aye.
nay. Any abstentions other than myself? All right, that's been passed. I'll make sure I get those keys made out in a duly fashion. And if okay with the board, I will bring those copies at our convention unless anyone wants to meet with me somewhere in the middle.
Sounds good.
Okay. And the next order of the day was new business District 11 representative, correct?
Yes, but I don't see that Dave showed up, and I don't know of anybody else who's interested. So unless anybody has anybody they want to appoint for a month.
Mr. Johnson, I see your hand up.
I would just like to point out, as far as the District 11 representative goes, that ordinarily, if our next convention were 6 months away, I would say we need to appoint somebody. Since at this point it's basically 5 weeks away, I don't think we really need to take a lot of action here other than to let District 11 elect their new representative at the upcoming convention.
All right.
I would agree. I think the only reason this is on the agenda is because Scott wanted to give Dave Franklin a chance. So he's not here anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna move. I guess I can move, but I don't know how it's gonna go without him here. I would move to fill the vacancy left by Dave Franklin with Dave Franklin up until the convention. What?
I will second that.
All right. It has been moved and
Can I call the question right away? Do we need to discuss?
I believe so. All right, calling the question has been moved and seconded. All in favor of calling the question, say aye.
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 All right, all opposed to calling the question, say nay.
Nay.
Hey.
And I actually have to nay because I didn't see their hands up. I'm so sorry.
Oh, whoops.
We have 3 nays at this point. Any abstentions other than myself? All right, the call of the question has passed. Sorry, Mr. Johnson. And we will vote on that. All in favor
Point of order. Or I don't believe the vote passed.
Would you like a roll call?
For
Yes.
calling a question.
We had
Was
three,
it-
and myself is the only abstention. So, I mean, I do believe it passed, but if you would insist on a roll call, it can be done.
Correct
Just
motion for
to
division.
ensure it's 2/3.
It requires 2/3, and we had 3 nays. I mean, if, like I said, if there is a call for a roll call, we will have to do that. So if you'd like to call for roll call, we can.
Point of parliamentary, whatever. Our bylaws say that everything except resolutions requires a simple majority. So it would be a simple majority. And I voted against it, but I think at this point, the only thing you do would be call for a roll call.
Division.
All right. Ms. Secretary, would you like to do a roll call? Because division just means we will go to a roll call, correct? Unless I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm confused about the division. Okay, so we're just voting on calling the question, right?
Yes.
Division is the Robert's Rules of Order wording for that. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. I appreciate the clarification.
Scott,
Nay.
call the question. Andrew,
Nay.
I say yes. Dana,
Nay.
Jay,
Nay.
Tori,
Yes.
Raphael,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Larry,
Nay.
Angela,
Nay.
Charles,
Yes.
Mike,
Nay.
James,
Yes.
6-7, Mr. Chair. It's gonna fail either way.
Yeah. Right. So it failed. So now we're back to discussion. So on
6-7.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, I'll keep this short since I am the one who kind of drugged this out. I would like to point out two things before we vote on this matter. One is that I saw emails in which Mr. Franklin was flat out refusing to cooperate with the new email system. And also, I am well aware that Donna has been mirroring those emails, or at least had been, to people's personal addresses to keep them informed of meetings, especially during the time period in which he missed most of these meetings. That was because there was some transition issues. It's not like Mr. Franklin is a boomer like myself and Jay. He's reasonably well versed in technology. And this is more about refusal than anything else. So I think putting him back on this board for such a short period would be unnecessary. And I believe that if the people in his district choose to reappoint him at that time, that's their business. But I don't think we need to be reseating him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I see Ms. Carver's hand up next.
If Charles is speaking against, then, or in the opposite direction, because I kind of agree with Charles, you need to go first. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'll be brief. I agree with Larry. Donna can attest that I complained to her today about using the emails that are not the LPMI email, and so I was like frustrated by that. So she can attest that I agree with Larry.
Yeah, I do it because as a secondary thing, not as the main motion, because so many people are telling me they don't look at their emails. So when we have a little bit of notice, I have been sending him to the private emails. So he has gotten a lot of notice.
All right. Back to you, Ms. Carver. You're muted, Miss Carver.
All right, now I'm not muted. No, I would agree with Donna that she does send them to the personal emails, and that is a beautiful thing because I don't always go back into the party email either. But no, Mr. Franklin has gotten notified in a bazillion different ways, and it's also all over the interwebs, like on all the different groups, or at least a few groups. And there's a freaking calendar, and the calendar freaking has the monthly meetings on it. And this rule is not about special meetings. In the bylaws, it only talks about regular freaking meetings. The regular freaking meetings are on the freaking calendar. If you don't know calendars, I don't know what to tell you. I am stuck with going with this Gregorian calendar, and so everybody else must do so.
Thank you, Miss Garber. Next hand up was Angela, or did she just put her hand down?
No, I just put it down because I knew you were getting ready to call me. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, I would also speak against this. I think that as directors, we do have an obligation to assume some sort of responsibility, a personal responsibility to do our own due diligence. If you're not getting the emails, then you need to reach out and find out why. 1 month, 2 month, 3 months, that's just not, again, if they're going to go ahead and reappoint him, then yay on them. But I just would advise us excusing that behavior.
All right, thank you, Ms. Thornton. Next hand up is Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, doing this there's a couple things going on in my head here. And one of them, okay, I'll go with three things. I'll be brief with each one. Number one, I know people seem to question the correctness or the sincerity of his claim that he had trouble getting the emails. I'm willing to grant the benefit of the doubt the first time around. The bylaws are clear that, well, he missed the meetings, he's out. And so, but, this never came to a vote by us, and I would just wish to get him back in there since he was so, and then get to the next thing. He was elected by people of his district at a convention, a well-attended convention, I might add. And I, out of respect for them, would like to be able to see him remain on the board at least through that the next convention, where people can then decide if they want to keep him or re-elect him or elect someone else. And finally, and this, I'm going to be cautious about this. Most of us now who are on this board, especially those present who are still in the meeting, are part of one faction of the party who had plenty to complain about regarding unfairness on the part of members of other faction of the party on a previous administration. And I'd like to make sure that we're bending over backwards to be fair, so that we don't make ourselves into hypocrites. And that's my honest opinion, and I know there's going to be some visceral reactions that I hope will mainly, keep civil here. But that's where I'm at with this, and it is a ridiculously brief time at this point, so it's probably not going to make a big difference one way or the other. I consider it basically a nice gesture at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Is there any further discussion before we put this to a vote?
Call the question this time.
All right.
Second.
Okay. All in favor of calling the question, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions other than myself? My question is called. All in favor of Scotty's motion to bring back Dave, say aye.
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 All right. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Any
Division.
Oh, fuck.
Miss Secretary, if you could do a quick roll call for us.
All right. This is the motion is in favor of bringing him back, correct?
Correct.
Okay, Scott.
Aye.
Andrew.
Aye.
I'm a no. Dana.
For the love of God, no.
Jay,
Aye.
Tori,
Aye.
Raphael,
Nay.
John,
Aye.
Larry,
No.
Angela,
No.
Charles,
Yes.
Mike,
No.
James,
Yes.
7-6.
And I abstain. So it does pass a simple majority. So Dave is still currently seated until, I believe at the next convention, they have to do an affirmation vote in order to keep him on. I could be wrong, but I believe that's under our bylaws. If they want to keep him past the convention. From my understanding.
The caucus would meet and they get to choose their rep. Then he
Yeah.
gets another 3 meetings to miss, and then we could do this all over again because it's so much fun.
Mr. Bowman, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I was just gonna affirm that he didn't stay on. He has been reseated, assuming he accepts it. But yes, the seat was legitimately vacated by the bylaws, and they will need to vote on whether or not they reelect him or select someone new.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that from my understanding. All right, the next business. Where were we? Miss Secretary, can you see where we were next?
We are on the January meeting, and I put that in the convention because we have a meeting scheduled the weekend before. I know Justin was talking about trying to meet during the convention in an in-person meeting, but I don't know that everybody's staying overnight, and I don't know if we'll have last-minute convention business to discuss. So my question was simply, are we going to keep the January LAC meeting the weekend before the convention?
All right, we can put that up for discussion. Mr. Estner, your hand's up.
I was just going to say, comment on the agenda. I had put my motion in the chat that was supposed to be added that we agreed to. But,
Is that old business? I'm sorry.
it should
I
be
thought
new business. We're in new
Yeah,
business.
so it was at the end of the new business, the January meeting. We still have the convention chair, and I put yours after that because
I'm sorry, I just don't see it
Yeah.
showing up. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm actually taking minutes. I didn't necessarily update the agenda, but it is on there. It's the last item.
All right, Ms. Carver, I see your hand up.
I move that we keep the meeting date the same as it is because I'd really rather not do one at convention. Sorry, I think I just put my motion. My bad.
I second that. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that the hybrid meetings are very, very difficult, and a lot of people left the convention, and we were trying to accommodate Zoom and in person, and it was a real problem. But
Yeah.
anyway,
All right, so we're on discussion for that motion now, Mr. Johnson.
Point of order.
Yes.
So there's no point in this motion if we're holding our meeting regularly scheduled on our regular date.
Yeah, I do believe it would be dilatory.
it would be. I wanted the discussion because Justin had told me his plan was to have one and I didn't want to make the decision by myself. But yeah, the default is right now the meeting is scheduled, and I think it's necessary. So unless somebody moves that we change it,
Yeah,
we
that
don't even
motion
need.
to keep the same would be dilatory and thus out of order. So unless there's a motion to change it, that would be proper. My understanding.
Tim, do you mind if I say something? Just some information. I did, after the last hybrid meeting we had, I did purchase conference microphone set that would take care of the issues we had with the hybrid meeting, other than people who were trying to call in. But if we had a hybrid meeting, we wouldn't have the sound issues that we had before. So I did get the conference set up for that.
All right. Thank you
if that
for.
impacts anybody's opinion.
All right, I appreciate you going out and doing that for us, Mr. Eschner. Johnson, your hands up.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I mean, I don't know if we really need the motion if we're going to keep it as is. We're just discussing it at this point.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because the
discussion.
motion is the way it is, that motion really need to be made.
I withdraw my motion.
Yeah, nobody seconded it, so yeah, she can withdraw and we can just keep the status quo.
Yeah, so pretty much it's just
Another, if I may, Mr. Chair, another point is that we may have last minute convention business to take care of also. So we have something ahead of time to deal with that.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
So to my understanding, it's fairly settled. We will keep it the same. There's no motion brought forth to change it to the convention. So if everyone's satisfied with that, we'll just continue on as normal.
So that brings me to the next item on the agenda, which is a couple items I wanted to bring up. I know Raphael has one and I have one, but I'll go over I just wanted to get people's input on the voting procedures. If we're going to have 50 some people listed, I was going to have my laptop and try to arrange with the hotel to get, make sure all the printing and copying and everything is going to be seamless. But I didn't know if anybody else had any other ideas they were working on for voting. Sometimes we have voted electronically, and I didn't want to go through and figure all this stuff out if we were going to change things. So this is not even a motion, it's just a question for the group. If anybody knows of any other methods of voting we're going to be using, or if we're just going to stick with the usual, typing up of a ballot, passing the ballot out, having people tally the ballot. It doesn't go too badly. If I'm ready, I can try to, expedite it, but it is a cumbersome process. I don't know a better one.
Mr. Duke, I see your hand up on this.
So the last time we did a convention to elect delegates to national, I felt like it took an hour, maybe an hour and a half to tally all the votes together. There's got to be a simpler way using software to just have everyone walk up to a computer and input their vote. And I don't have a recommendation, but paper just takes too long, I think.
As the secretary, it's sort of a nightmare for me just thinking about it, but yeah.
Ms. Carver, I see your hand up next.
I agree that there needs to be some sort of a more efficient process for this because, yes, it does take a long time. Because used to we didn't do it this way. Like now we're doing it this way since 2017, so that's cool. But also I would like to recommend that whoever is in charge of doing this, like probably Donna, talk to Emily because Emily did this a lot of times and she helped us in Grand Lake to do this as well.
She did electronically, or
no, she just taught the boys how to do the normal way. She was just like directing everybody to do what we always have done.
Right.
So Emily is like a pro at this.
All right, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Your hand up is next.
I would like to point out that I acknowledge that counting the paper ballots can take a while. However, in general, we have proceeded with other business while that is going on. That would be a perfect time to schedule the District 11 vote. We could even possibly have the vote on our replacement vice chair if we're going to do that at that convention, or we can have announcements and reports from affiliates, which are things that we have done in the past. Also, we could even possibly vote on endorsing a it's not going to be a presidential, it'll be a gubernatorial candidate or something like that if we have such business to take care of, since that was part of our agenda.
All right, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Duke?
To counter that, I would say that that takes up at least 2 people counting votes that are then no longer a part of our convention process. Voting for District 11, that's fine. Just don't have District 11 counting the votes. But if we're moving into choosing a second vice chair, then we're disenfranchising 2 people that are counting votes, and etc.
All right. Is there any further discussion, Mr. Bowman?
Yeah. And by the way, I think the most time consuming part will be counting the delegate nomination votes, which is a core function of this convention. It is true that there are faster ways of doing this. I mean, I can think of there's tools, something called Ballot Buddy. You could create something with Google Forms. You could do it in the form of a survey
There
that.
is no doubt Hypertruck made a furious push to the finish. Where do you think the judges plan,
What?
Kenny? Well, the control
What is that?
far upward debate, but I think Howard's doing her own version of
Is there someone who's got some kind of audio thing going on?
Or a domestic issue.
What was that? Hello?
Hi. Sorry, like I said, that was on this background.
Okay, I guess that was all I was going to say.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Mr. Johnson, again?
I don't have any more input on this issue. My hand is up for the next possible convention related item.
All right, thank you. Ms. Carver?
I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that Tori just volunteered as tribute. She is welcoming disenfranchisement.
Well, we definitely appreciate any willing sacrifices here, Tori, to help us through that process if it comes to that. Is there any further discussion on how we will do the counting of the ballots? Should we officialize how we want to do it now or wait until our next meeting before convention?
Well, I don't have any options. I could look into options for the meeting, but right now we can't really vote to do it electronically because we don't really have an option. I mean,
Yeah.
does Larry still have his hand up? And Scotty?
For the next, Mr. Bowman still has his, though.
Yeah, I was going to make a motion to authorize the secretary to consult with the convention committee on researching possible alternatives to paper ballots and to present those options to the board at the January meeting.
Second.
All right. I will note that Trevor just put in the chat, the convention committee had no plans to use paper ballots. We meet Tuesday to discuss electronic means. So.
Perfect.
That motion has been seconded. It would just kind of obligate Donna to attend that if possible.
So Scott was going to authorize the secretary to work with the convention committee and researching options to paper ballots.
Yes. And that has been seconded. If there's no discussion, we can go straight to a vote.
I object.
Would you like
to going?
What are you objecting to, Dana?
Didn't we just motion to do that? We were going to a vote.
Yeah.
You objected.
Why did you object?
Well, I was reading the chat. I have to remember what we're voting on is my first part.
The motion on the floor is to allow Donna to consult the the committee. Which committee?
Yeah. Okay.
Convention committee.
Convention committee to look into other means on voting process and how they would like to do that.
Okay, yes. So, I mean, maybe I don't object, but I also don't technically trust our convention committee at this moment. And I'm just going to come right out and say that. So would we have oversight as a board? Maybe I have to have a point of information on this one or clarification.
We do have oversight as a board.
Okay, because
Absolutely.
I want to touch on anything they do, because at this moment I am very not trusting of that committee. Just saying. So yeah, I do object. Sorry, my dogs were barking. I had to do things. Right on. Yeah, I'm definitely object.
All right. Hearing no further discussion, we can go straight to a vote on that.
Yep.
I do try a voice call. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay, sorry.
And Ms. Carver is a nay. Any abstentions other than myself? All right, motion does pass. And Trevor, I believe, said they will meet this Tuesday. If you want to get in contact with them, that's probably a great time to do that.
All right, sounds good.
Well, I believe that covers.
Well, that's we have still the convention chair, which Raphael I think was gonna handle. Is he still there? I haven't heard him.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. I wanted to make a motion, if it's okay with Mr. Teagan, since Mr. Teagan, as well as many of us, are rather inexperienced at running a large meeting with Roner, and many members who will be in the crowd, who are well familiar with Roner, that we vote on or attempt to find a potential convention chair to chair the meeting, and Mr. Teagan can assist and learn. There are a few potential people that might be willing to chair. Mr. Gelano came to mind. I spoke to him. He chaired one of the conventions, I think maybe 2 or 3 conventions ago, sort of partway through, and it was a pretty well run meeting. Greg Stempfel came to mind, and maybe Joe Brungart, or maybe some others might like to step up. I don't have a pick, but I think there are many good members that might be willing to do so if it's okay with the chair.
I mean, I will definitely put that motion to the board as long as it is in order by our bylaws and so forth. If I need to chair the meeting, I definitely will try my best. I do expect probably a slip up or two, but I will make it known if I have to chair the meeting in the beginning, I will have to defer a lot of bylaws and RONAR to my betters, which is this board and the body. But if this board thinks it's best, I mean, we are a committee. I stand behind you.
Angie said that this is probably out of order. Thank you.
All right. We may have to discuss whether it is in order.
So I think the rule is that the convention body has to vote on this. Am I right about that or no? Is that why it's out of order?
Okay.
I don't know. I do not know Robert's rules.
Angie said yes, that's exactly correct.
Okay.
If anyone would like to speak on if that's an order or out order, their opinions, I'll definitely open the floor up to that.
I withdraw my motion. Thank you.
Okay. But I do appreciate that motion. Like I said, I was not expecting to be chair when I was elected. And the consideration of trying to watch my back on that is appreciated. I do see a few hands up. Is that regarding the motion that has just been withdrawn, or any statements or questions? Mr. Johnson, you would have been first.
Yes. First, I would like to point out that in the past, we do have at least two members I know of. I don't know what they call themselves, the Royal Order of Parliamentarians or whatever. We have at least two members of our body, not necessarily the LEC, but two members, one of whom is Mark King. I believe Angie might be the other one, who have amateur parliamentarian status or whatever they call it. They're registered with them. So we have registered parliamentarians. They're not able to sell their services because they're not registered to that level. And is such a thing as a Robert's Rules of Order cheat sheet, which is something that's usually passed out at national conventions. It could be kept in front of the chair to help him conduct the meeting. And that was just a point of information that I wanted to put out there. But my second issue, the one that I had originally raised my hand for, was that I was wondering if our convention committee chair had any input or information regarding the how the convention organizing is progressing.
All right.
That's all.
Thank you, Johnson. Trevor, is there anything you'd like to speak on to his question?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. What's the question?
Just if the convention, if you as the committee chair had any input to give us on how the organizing of the convention is progressing.
I could give a short report if you would like. Yes.
That would be great. Thank you.
Sure. We did a site visit on Friday. Walked through the room itself. It's a nice, comfortable space. We have it set up currently. Planning on 96 seats at rounds. The room does seat 250, but with rounds about 100 is quite full. All the registration stuff is up on the website currently under the conventions tab, so everyone can register for the packages. Those are all set and ready to register, and people have been registering. Although Jamie's getting those, I don't have access to the number as of right this moment. Mailers went out in the mail today, or I dropped them at the post office today. So those will be in people's mailboxes shortly. We have a for sure guest speaker for lunch. Evan, blanking on his last name, from Indiana. He'll be doing a speech on affiliate building. He's currently the secretary of the National Party. We're confirming up our dinner speakers, and we'll have the Libby Awards after dinner. So we'll have a speaker before dinner, and yeah, we'll have Libby's after dinner. I was really, the venue is really nice. I hope everyone, buys a package, stays at the hotel. Downtown Midland is very cute and walkable. So, yep. I'm not sure if you have any other specific details. I could try to answer those, but I could give you, if you wanted me to share my screen, I could show you some of the layout and etc. Or menu. But the menu is up on the website.
No, I'm satisfied with that report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. We appreciate that. All right, I see a few more hands right now. Mr. Bowman?
Just a couple things about convention chairmanship. And it's something that's often decided at the convention, but as we've observed, it is appropriate if a chair wishes to defer to someone to pass the gavel. Now, in the bylaws, the default is that if the chair, in the absence of the chair, the first vice chair handles the chair's business, and so that would be yours truly, would be the default person to pick up if for any reason the chair felt a reason to have someone else, presiding over the convention at that moment. Not that I'm, begging for that opportunity or anything, just saying that's how it goes. And furthermore, yeah, I think retaining some type of parliamentarian, regardless of who's chairing the convention, how experienced, is always helpful. And that would again be at the chair's, at the pleasure of the chair to make those choices. Far from that, of course, there is the more extreme situation that a body can actually, you know, have a vote of no confidence, but I don't think there would be any reason for that. But I'm just saying, you know, there are cases where the convention body at some point could choose their own chair if they really, really wanted to that way. But again, hopefully it wouldn't devolve into that. But I'm just saying there are a few options. But in general, planning ahead to have maybe people in the wings who might want to pick up the gavel at some point or another if the chair wants to defer to somebody. I need to brush up on things to make sure I'm ready in case it's my turn. And we should probably have somebody sitting, you know, next to just to help out with parliamentarian service also. That's just, you know, good practice. That's all about that. I don't know if it's time yet to make that other motion, and I mean, I can wait until open floor if you think it's more appropriate to wait till then.
Charles had his first, but
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's all. That's the only thing left.
All right. A little bit more discussion on the convention and my chairmanship on that. Ms. Thornton?
This has nothing to do with your chairmanship. I'm fine if you want to try and run the thing. I've told you that on the phone. Whatever you decide, we'll support you on that. I just wanted to speak in favor of. I just want to encourage everybody. I can't encourage everybody enough to make sure to attend Mr. McMahon's presentation on affiliate building. I have been to that presentation. It is phenomenal. He's got handouts. You know, you will, I promise you will leave that meeting ready to go and be enthusiastic and have a definite plan, a strategy of how to get people to join your affiliate. It is absolutely amazing. I can't recommend it enough. And I hope that everybody attends. I hope all the affiliate chairs are at least able to attend. I'm just going to say again, I can't recommend it enough. It is a fantastic presentation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Angela. Ms. Carver?
So I didn't hear it earlier. Do you want to chair this?
I will try as long as there's no complaints from this board. Obviously, if everyone here or majority here thought, you know, somebody else would be better fit, we'll agree with the board. But also,
well, no, that would be up to the body. My question is as a delegate, because I have to vote for this at convention. So I'm asking as a member, because like you might have to face up against Andrew and whatever, and you got this. If you got this, I'll vote for you at convention.
I believe I do, as long as, you know, I can have some assistance along the way, maybe even a little bit last minute coaching still right before I get there on how to handle a few issues that might come up that I see come up frequently at conventions.
Right on then. We'll back you up. All right. That was my only question.
Thank you, Dana. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, I have two items I'd like to discuss. The first is I would like to inquire of Mr. Bowman what huge pot of money he thinks we're going to draw from to hire a professional parliamentarian. If I'm not mistaken, in the past, the price has been in the thousands of dollars.
I'm talking about a volunteer within the party who is skilled in Robert's rules. I'm not talking about paying a professional.
Okay. My misunderstanding then. Thank you. Because we do have a few people, like I said, that are registered with that organization that should be able to assist us. And we have some self-made parliamentarians that might be willing to pipe up also. The second thing I would like to point out, and maybe this is a bit of a clarification for myself, but my understanding of the bylaws is that the first vice chair position is now open. There is no automatic advancement for the second vice chair to the first vice chair position. That is only to fill the chair's position with the first vice chair. Please, someone who might understand the bylaws better, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's
But
the
I
old
think that
bylaws.
Yeah, yes, the old bylaws. The new
reading them
one,
right off the website.
To Mr. Sheridan actually brought it up at the Wayne County convention we just had yesterday, and I suppose that they had a similar transition period, and it was in Pinckney that these were amended or brought to what they currently are, which
I have it.
from,
I'm sorry. I have it here in front of me.
oh, perfect. Miss Angela, if you could address those then.
Okay. In the vacancy of the chair, vice chairs shall be elevated, and the vacancies shall remain at the lowest level office.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Carver, was your hand still up, or did it go back up?
Sorry, that was an oops.
Yeah, you're good. I thought so. Mr. Duke.
I would like to discuss with Scotty, does he wish to be the affiliate director versus the political director? Because while you may be responsible in the bylaws for one or the other, you can delegate the authority to take care of things. So I don't want Scotty to feel like he has to be the affiliates director. And this is a horrible time to suddenly change and vacate our political director. So I want to make sure there's some leeway here.
One thing that was brought up to me before Scotty answers this, if we appoint him to keep the political director position, then he would have to be had a affirmation vote from the body, and they could have a chance to vote a different way. And then he would be out of a position. Since this is automatic, it does not have to be addressed with the body. He can continue for the rest of this term. But if we appoint him and he is not affirmed, then he would lose his position on the LEC, from my understanding. But sorry to interrupt, Scott. I just wanted to interject on that. That's what I learned yesterday.
Yeah, I concur. That what happens is, since I was automatically advanced by the bylaws, this is a secure position for the remainder of the term. However, if since the positions cannot be combined, if in order to become political director, I would then have to resign as affiliate director, in which case I would be in a temporary position up to the convention, in which case both vice chair positions would be up for a vote. So for that reason, and that reason primarily, I do not want to take that route, because I'd much rather stay with the sure thing than throw the cards up in the air and see where they land, in a few weeks. As far as the other matter about delegating and assistance and all that, certainly the political director duties do need to be taken care of. And I think we need to we need to get a candidate. I guess I can still help form a candidate committee as just a person, a member of the party, and bring it before the board at the next meeting or something to that effect. I welcome assistance from anyone who wishes to, help with that. Just help assisting candidates. I don't think you actually have to be an LEC member to assist candidates. And I suppose I'm saying I'm willing to work with them in the absence of there being a political director. And yeah, sure, I would love for volunteers to help me out with affiliate chair duties. That's great. But as far as changing positions, no.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Mr. Saliba.
Yeah, hypothetically, would there be anything stopping somebody else from running for second vice chair, but making it known that they would just swap affiliate and political duties with Scotty? So Scotty would still be first vice chair and the new person would be second vice chair, but they'd swap duties. And Scotty could do the political stuff and the new person could do affiliate stuff.
I believe that would fall to being improper. At the very least, if they officially switch, they would both be considered temporary until the next convention, at which point the body would have to affirm their positions, to my knowledge.
I think Mike is referring to assuming each other's duties with all. May I, if you're, with the permission of the chair?
Yes, you may speak to that.
Yeah, I believe Mike is suggesting effectively a de facto switch, non-formal. I think that would smell bad in relation to the bylaws. There's nothing wrong with helping each other out with certain duties, but we are primarily responsible for the carrying out of certain duties, and that is enumerated in the bylaws.
Yeah, I believe so. We'll go next to Miss Carver then.
I guess I would like to make a motion because this could solve all of this. To form a committee. Yeah, to form a committee to like an affiliate committee because there's unaffiliated areas. And if we have to deal with this, never mind. I would like, I'm talking to my motion. Anyway, I would like to form a committee to help the affiliate chair.
To form an affiliate committee? Would
Yeah,
that
like a committee to help
for you?
Yeah, because you're hearing the conflict here. Like Scotty doesn't want that job, so we have to help him. So I'm trying to form a committee to help Scotty.
I mean, I suppose, a good solution would be a political candidate committee and an affiliate committee where both members are present in each other's. That could be a possibility.
But with that, okay, we need
I
a
would
rotor
entertain the
expert that
formation
might
of two
violate the
committees.
bylaws. Yeah, like that would work. Two committees together, even like just that could work too. Like somebody make the motion because I'm not quite sure how to do it, but we should be able to make this work.
I will say
we've always had the political committee, right?
I
think
believe
Trevor was on it.
So it would just be the new foundation of an affiliate committee. So is it proper to state you would like a motion to form a new affiliate committee in the assistance of the affiliate director's role?
Yes, and the committee folk would have access to that data because as District 1, I don't even have access to fill the unaffiliated areas in my district. Never mind, I'm still talking on it. My bad. Yes, that's my motion. My bad.
So please repeat the motion. You made the motion to
assist the affiliates director with the committee. A committee to
create.
assist the
Okay,
affiliates director.
create a committee to assist the affiliate director. Okay.
Yeah.
And who would be the? We would still have the opening.
Well, the opening will be filled at
Right.
convention. Well, shit. We would have. Never mind.
Are you volunteering to be on that committee?
Yes.
We could just create an affiliates committee. Regardless of whether we fill the position, we need a committee, right?
Well, that position can't be filled at the next convention unless we figure out the bylaws. And so we're like going to be into January or February. But until then, there's things that need to be done to help Scott. I mean, it's all confusing. My bad.
So to state the motion on the floor would be to form an affiliate committee to assist the affiliate director in their duties?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. And then we would have access to all the things.
Into questions, because that also says kind of what the committee would do, I believe, at that point.
Help form affiliates.
All right. The motion is on the floor.
Second it.
All right, it has been seconded by Ms. Thornton. Is there any discussion on the formation of this committee? All right, hearing no discussion, we will proceed to a vote. All in favor of forming an affiliate committee, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
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 There might be a need for division.
Vision.
Thank you. Ms. Secretary, could you do a roll call for us real fast?
Sure. So this is for an affiliates committee. Scott,
Mr. Bowman?
Scott,
Sorry, I had a little trouble getting back to the screen. Yes, I favor it.
Andrew.
Yes.
I vote yes. Dana,
Yes.
Jay,
Yeah.
Tori,
No.
Raphael,
Nay.
John, John there, Larry,
No.
Lee, Angela,
Yes.
Charles,
Nay.
Mike,
I guess. Yes. I guess. I don't know.
James,
Nay.
7-5.
All right, it passes. We now formed an affiliate committee to assist in creating new affiliates and to assist affiliate director in their role.
His role, and there's only one.
Yes.
Point of information.
Yes.
Who is chairing the committee? Is it Scotty?
Yeah,
Would you-
I suppose that would be the appropriate thing for the affiliate director to do. Okay, I'm on another committee, but it's coincident with my duties already existing as affiliate director, so I suppose that makes sense.
I'm not in any disagreement. I just wanted to make sure we had a chair to call the next meeting.
And I'm trying to and welcome volunteers. I'm assuming Dana has already volunteered. Since she made that motion. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
And any other people who would like to volunteer can always reach out to Mr. Bowman. So I believe that'll bring us to our next order, which is, Ms. Secretary, could you tell us what our next order of business would be at that point?
It is Charles' motion. I would like to request, I move to rescind the motion from September 14th, 2025 to rescind the disaffiliation of Genesee County in April 2023. The rationale is that the question has gone to the Judicial Committee and the LNEC was premature in taking such a measure. Going to the JC first was always the correct action.
All right, a couple hands raised up already. Mr. Bowman?
I'm going to move to table that motion until after the till the first meeting, regular meeting after the January convention. And my rationale is that having it that addressed right now is out of order by the bylaws that prohibit unaffiliating groups less than 60 days before a convention.
All right. Does Mr. Bowman's motion have a second?
Point of order, the original motion does not yet have a second.
Correct. Does the original motion have a second? All right. It doesn't look like we're seeing a second on that motion. So at this point, that motion would be put to rest. But thank you for your concern on that, Mr. Essner. All right, Mr. Bowman.
Mr. Chair, is it now in order to make the motion I wanted to make regarding the second vice chair position vacancy?
Yeah, I believe we're going into open floor, are we not, Ms. Secretary? Where that
Yep,
would
yep. Everything else is done.
perfect. And yes, this is your time to shine, Mr. Bowman.
Okay. In looking at the bylaws and this matter of whether or not this occurred within sufficient time for notice, there's two numbers I look at in the dates in the bylaws. I could not find anything solid in Robert's rules that it pretty much deferred two bylaws and said there are typical time spans. I believe with notice, since we're talking about notifying members as opposed to notifying affiliates who need to select people for delegate purposes, this is not relevant to whether or not people select delegates. That 30 days is the appropriate notice to make members aware of an additional vacancy to be filled. And since it is more than 30 days before that convention, I believe under the bylaws, the second vice chair position is up to a vote at this coming convention. And may I add just one more thing? I'm sorry. Okay, I do this. One more thing I would add is regarding if there's any ambiguity that we err in favor of notice, that if at the time of convention it's determined that there was not sufficient notice, it does no harm then to simply, well, oops, not sufficient notice, we won't vote on it, and it goes, to the later convention. But if we don't notice people, then we find out under the bylaws that we still have to fill the position. It creates quite a conundrum. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bowman. If I could have the formal writing of that motion in the chat for our secretary's purpose, that could be very helpful.
It'll take a minute.
Yep, but essentially the basis of your motion is to give notice for the vacancy of the vice chair and have an election at the next convention. Correct?
Yes, actually, everything else I said was really simply argumentative, so it's not necessarily part of the motion.
So you're moving that we
notice
members this week, or by within the 30 days, which is 2 days.
Yes.
Is this an email note? We have to have an email notice. We can't do anything with the other.
Yeah.
Email notice.
Yes.
Point of
Email
information.
notice to members. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Larry.
And
I keep waiting for a gap and then it fails. I just have a point of information. I'm unsure where we're getting this 30 days notice from.
I pasted it in the chat. It's from the bylaws, and it involves the notification of members of a board position. All right, there's two parts to this. Are you asking about the number of days of notice or the matter of filling the vacancy if there is sufficient date of notice? Which part are you asking about regarding bylaws, Larry?
Basically both.
Okay. The first part is, and I'm quoting, and now I gotta look. I think it's Article 6, Section 5, subsection 4 or something. If a board position becomes vacant except for the office of chair, the LEC shall appoint someone to fill it. In the event the vacancy of chair, vice chair shall be elevated and the vacancy shall remain at the lowest offices. The term of each will be until the next convention having sufficient notice, there's the phrase, having sufficient notice for adding the election to its agenda. Officers selected to fill a vacancy shall serve until the next regular convention. Election congressional district representative shall be done by caucus. Appointments of a congressional district representative must be a person residing in that district. Okay, then the other part addressed, and the other bylaw that I quoted and stuck somewhere in this very lengthy chat, and it looks like I lost some of it, maybe due to poor connection issues, did specify 30 days for notifying members with a call to convention, which is separate from the 60-day notice that goes to affiliates because they need to schedule their convention to select delegates.
The call to convention does not mean we have a hardwired agenda. So things can be added. I agree that there should be some degree of notice for such a position, but the 30 days applies to the convention, not to the agenda.
Yeah, when that part about filling the vacancies was put into the bylaws, there was all those voting thought it was very important that a sufficient notice time period elapse, and they had a definite amount of time involved, and I was there, and I think the 30 days is the appropriate time period.
Okay.
We've had much conflict in this party over the issue of what is or is not sufficient notice to fill vacancies, I might add.
And if there's an argument,
I do not want to relive that.
And if there's an argument about that, either the membership or the judicial committee can adjudicate it. But at this point, if we send out an email blast to all our members, notifying them that that seat will be on there, we are still outside the 30-day window.
Exactly.
Okay. I agree with that.
Is that possible? Is that possible to put in a newsletter? Is that considered notice? Because the newsletter is going out tomorrow.
Sure. Put it in the newsletter, and I would, yeah, if it's in the newsletter, I'd consider that notice. I wouldn't mind seeing an additional standalone email with the subject line, additional vacancy to be voted on at convention. Vice political director vacancy open.
That addresses my concerns.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Duke.
I would like to hear what Mr. Henry has to say.
Thank you. That. All right, do a quick vote on that. I believe all in favor of letting Mr. Henry speak to this, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. All right, Mr. Henry, if you have something to add to this, or if your hand was for another subject, you can let us know that now.
My hand was for another subject, but I can make it very, very brief.
Do you mind if we just circle back to you since we're already in the middle of this motion?
Not at all.
Thank you for your patience. All right, Mr. Duke.
Then I would like to talk on this topic that I will not agree with providing less than 60 days notice. We do have a lot of interpretation issues with our bylaws. If we sent out 60 days to all the affiliates, that's the hard deadline. If we want to play it safe, that's the deadline, and we passed it.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Also, if somebody can clarify from my interpretation, we are allowed to appoint somebody. There's just that they would need an affirmation vote by the time with sufficient notice for the next election.
Yes.
Thank
for the
you.
next convention, not January, the spring convention.
Yeah. So if we had to appoint somebody either at that convention by the LEC, not the body, we could potentially do that if need be, and they would be seated until the next convention.
Correct. And I was just going to put something in the newsletter stating that people can contact us for the appointment. But depending how this motion goes, I could change that and notice it as a topic. But
All right, thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you for the clarification. Mr. Johnson.
I'm going to read from the bylaws right here because I think that some clarification is needed on this 60 days notice. The executive committee shall issue a call to each state convention to all affiliates no later than 60 days prior to the scheduled date of the convention, which call shall specify the date and location of the convention, the number of delegates each affiliate is entitled to, and to select and send to the state convention. There is nothing there that says that it precludes you from adjusting the agenda within that window. There is a 30-day notice to the members that arguably might be the level of notice needed for a major agenda item like this. The tradition within the party, going back the 25 years that I have been a member, is that business can be introduced from the floor of almost any form. And under Robert's Rules of Order, and I can't quote it, maybe Andy can clarify, there is a section that says the traditional ways in which the party has done business basically become a part of their rules. I won't call them bylaws because bylaws are separate, unless the bylaws say something different. We have had resolutions and other forms of business introduced from the floor at any convention that is regularly scheduled. And this upcoming convention is regularly scheduled, as witnessed by the fact that it exists in our bylaws to occur within a certain window on every year before a national convention. I don't see any problem here with having this a vote on the second vice chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Back to Mr. Bowman, then Dana, then Mike.
And if double dipping is somehow out of order, I could call this a point of information or something. The new bylaws, and read them again over thoroughly, have changed much of what was traditional. And in fact, the definition of a regular convention is been under the current bylaws was written with the understanding that it only occurred on odd years. Now, I'm not thrilled with that, but that was basically a JC interpretation, unpopular among many, that has now been codified, and therefore it would not be the open anything goes as long as the majority of the convention delegates want to do it. With whether or not there's notice no longer applies here. That the current bylaws set that type of convention where everything opens up to occur only on the odd years, and everything else is treated as a special convention unless an agenda item is added in advance with sufficient notice.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. All right, Miss Dana.
Okay, I feel like a hypocrite when I said that they couldn't make precedent. This is the precedent that destroyed this party for the last 3 years. I kind of agree with Scotty on this one. I don't know what to do here, but this is what destroyed everything. I agree with both Scotty and Larry that yes, this was our practice. And then it wasn't our practice. And then it created a trademark lawsuit. So I don't even know what to do here. But I would just say that we all think this through really clearly. And yeah, according to the bylaws, it's now here. But, just we have to be careful here.
Thank you, Dana. Mr. Saliba.
I just wanted to back up what Larry was saying, just as the example, before every convention, we have to adopt an agenda, and during that time, we make amendments or changes to the agenda. But if we were really to believe that the entire agenda has to be given 60-day notice, then that would never exist. We would never be able to amend the agenda before the convention if there was really such a hard notice requirement on every single little thing that we do during the convention. But since that doesn't really exist, that's why we do that at every convention.
All right. Appreciate that input, Mr. Saliba. Is there any more debate or conversations before we put this to a vote? All right. Seeing none, try and do a voice vote. All in favor of this, say aye.
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 I need the question stated.
All right. I heard that be appreciative if the motion is restated.
I just have that we email notice to members this week regarding the opening for political director and have it on the agenda for convention.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
All right. We'll try the voice vote now that's been restated one more. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Any abstentions other than myself?
Nay.
So it's Andrew and Dana are nays.
Correct.
Okay.
Anyone other than myself abstaining? All right, the motion does pass. And we will put out notice for that vacancy.
Perhaps a point of order?
Yes. Mr.
This
Duke?
violates the bylaws and Your Honor. So I'm seeking how to proceed.
What's that?
This motion has violated the bylaws.
I disagree. Does not violate the bylaws. The bylaws mention nothing about what needs to be on the agenda or noticing the agenda. It does not mention it at all. We notice the convention, not the agenda.
I'm asking for a ruling of the chair. Did we violate the bylaws, which also state Your Honor?
And I have an exact quote from the bylaws and Roner on how this could be interpreted as a violation.
Yeah.
Your Honor states that a special convention after notice can't be substantially changed on the agenda. This is substantially changing it.
I thought this was a regular convention, no?
All right, so the argument that is a substantial change on a special convention. Let's hear a few of our board members speak on that before I deliver any type of ruling. Mr.
Yeah.
Bowman.
I thought that, point of inquiry, I thought that this was a regular convention. I thought the special was in the even numbered years.
Do I have the floor?
Yes, Mr. Bowman.
Yeah. This convention under the current bylaws and the way the intent of the people voting on the current bylaws in Pinconning when I was there and I was on the bylaw committee, and I wish I remembered the specific number of days they were sticking to, but their intent was to indicate number of days notice on this matter, but the intent in of what they were doing was effectively acknowledging that only the odd years are going to be regular conventions. The convention when the election of officers are typically scheduled. That does not require notice for almost any of the agenda items at a regular convention. But it's already in the bylaws that election of officers happens then. For special conventions, and by the way, Andrew, I agree with Andrew Duke here that this would be the special convention. This convention coming up is a special convention. Does require notice for agenda items, at least significant ones that aren't like subcategories of the main ones. That is correct. However, the issue is, are we giving notice? And I would say there's two notices. There was one notice to the affiliates that had 60-day notice. There is another notice to the members that is 30 days notice. I believe the 30 days notice applies. Now, what if this violates the bylaws was the next part. We have between now and January 17th to figure out if it really violates the bylaws, and if it does, then it will have to be stricken from the agenda for the reason that it was out of order.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Mr. Johnson.
I will of course take corrections in this because I'm getting most of my information on Robert's Rules of Order secondhand. My understanding is that Robert's Rules of Orders does not even mention the word convention or caucus. Those are known as meetings of the membership. So a convention is a form of a meeting of the membership. And a special meeting of the membership or a special convention is akin to an emergency meeting, such as one that is called by the members or one that is necessary to replace large numbers of officers resigning or any other type of crisis that might arise within the membership. Because this is a meeting of the membership that is scheduled in our bylaws to occur at regular intervals within a certain time frame, it is not an emergency meeting and therefore not a special convention. Therefore, we are allowed to do almost any business that we wish at this meeting. And for example, I would like to posit, have you developed an agenda for this meeting yet? If you haven't, you've got like, what, 3 days left to do it before it would be within the 30-day window. And that agenda must be fully fleshed out before that 30-day window, or we would be in violation. That sounds to me like obvious nonsense. This is not a violation of either Roner or our bylaws. And specifically, I've just been looking through the section on conventions. It mentions nothing about the agenda or noticing the agenda, simply noticing the convention. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Saliba, you're next.
Yeah, again, I'd like to back up with what Larry just said, with also name a year we haven't sent delegates to national in this fashion since whatever year national conventions became every 2 years. It's pretty regular. It's very regular. We do it all the time.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Saliba. Mr. Duke, you may speak again.
To respond to those, we are specifically calling a convention to select a Senate candidate. This is a very special convention that was not written into our bylaws or expected. We did tack on the more, to use the word regular, idea of a convention that it happens at a certain time to choose delegates to fight over our bylaws and whether that is a special or a regular convention. I don't want to get into. But we have already picked the agenda. We chose it previously to include the special Senate seat and to select delegates and to include resolutions because I specifically wanted that added because I got burned 2 years ago that my resolution was thrown out of order by the JC. That's our agenda. We picked it already.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. At this point, hearing both arguments, my personal ruling is that I believe this would be in order. Obviously, that can be um, overturned, but we may wish to consult with the JC to make sure that this is in order. Um, in my opinion, because I think they would have some good positive feedback. But I do appreciate the concerns that this could be a violation of our bylaws and could be a violation of our owner. At this point in time, I believe the motion that passed is in order. And that will be my official ruling at this time. But I believe it would be in the best interest to ask and some of the members on the JC on their input on this. Okay. And moving on, I believe now we are still on open floor, correct?
Correct.
Is there anything else anyone would like to add to open floor? Yes, Mr. Henry, we're going to circle back to you. Floor is yours, Mr. Henry.
Thank you kindly. Good evening, everybody. I was appointed the chair of the credentials committee. So I had fairly recently gotten the credentials for the Zoom account from Justin so that I could hold meetings. So I was simply wanting to kind of notify you and or request to see if there's any conflict of me organizing a credentials meeting on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. So I was going to email leadership to make sure, but since most of leadership's here, I figured I would mention it now.
All right. That is the position Jeff Patel just was talking about vacating.
Credentials committee.
Oh, the credentials committee.
Yeah, for the committee for the convention in January.
All right. Anyone would like to speak to that? Ask any questions?
There is a Zoom schedule on there. Do you have
What
access
did
to Zoom, Ryan?
I did. He gave me the credentials, so I went in there. I didn't see any conflicts, but I just wanted to say something before I scheduled it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
usually we're supposed to put the meetings up in advance, so if nobody's on there, you should be good.
And I seen that Trevor mentioned that convention is on Tuesday, so. But okay, if there's no objections, thank you.
Yeah.
None to my knowledge. Ms. Carver, is your hand up for Mr. Henry or separate after?
Oh, separate. Mr. Henry can carry on.
All right, thank you. Just clarifying. All right, yeah, from what it sounds like, there's no problem with that, and you may proceed. And we appreciate you bringing that to our attention and sitting through that just to bring that up.
Thank you, Kylan.
Patience. All right, going on next to open floor is Ms. Carver.
Okay, I would like to discuss what we can talk about. Transparency in the court case. I don't know if we need to go into executive session for this. I hope we don't, because I would like it to be transparent. It's already been broadcast on a thing, and right now I'm just discussing it because we are an open floor. I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, as long as nothing is directly referenced that we have spoken in previous executive sessions. That is the only.
Because I could make the same motion I'm going to keep making all the time anyway, but I would just like to ask the board to acknowledge that this has now been released and it's out there. And some of us are getting berated over and over and over by lots, like not lots of people, like two specific people. And other people have asked gently, they want to know what is going on. And this is their money. This is their stuff. So maybe I should just make the motion again. The people need to know. They need to know why and what we are doing, because it is confusing to them. Some of them think we're going into lawfare. Some of them think that we are wasting their money. And that's been exposed, and it's a public court case. It is publicly said that we will lose the money if we don't get our shit together very soon, like in 3 days. So that's public. So yeah, maybe I should just make the motion again. I motion that we get to talk about this to the people, that we make this public. No more executive sessions unless it's actual strategy or actual anything, because nothing we've done so far, other than actually hiring the attorney, the one thing that got exposed, has been not public.
All right, trying to think of how we could put that motion into a proper wording and to make sure it doesn't conflict.
Motion to no longer hide what we're doing with the people's money.
I'm trying to think of how it would be in order because we have already passed a previous motion saying we can continue with executive sessions and that they will be released publicly upon the conclusion of the Comerica case. So I'm trying to think of how we could.
Point of parliamentary procedure.
Yes.
Did Ms. Carver vote in favor of the last resolution?
Come again, you cut out there for a second.
Did Ms. Carver vote in favor of the last resolution to keep this information in executive session till after the Comerica case was closed?
I believe on the motion it was a no from her.
Then this is basically a motion to reconsider, and if she did not vote in favor of it, she is, under Robert's Rules of Order, not allowed to put forward a motion to reconsider.
All right, so that would be out of order at this point, correct?
I
That
would
would be
appeal the
my-
ruling of the chair.
What was that, Ms. Thornton?
I would appeal the ruling of the chair that the motion is out of order. This is not a reconsideration. This is just the same motion again. We're allowed to make it over and over and over again if it fails. The reconsideration only applies to a motion that had passed, and we need to go back and revisit.
Okay, trying to think.
Is a challenge to the chair debatable?
I believe so.
I don't think so. I think we just move straight to a vote.
We've debated them before. I don't know if it's debatable or not. Somebody would have to enter it.
I mean, I would welcome it if people wish to, unless no one would like to hear it.
I would like to hear exactly what the motion was before it was to release past executive sessions. Is this motion just for the future? Move that we no longer meet in an executive session regarding member monies?
If I could speak to that,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is the future. This is what's going on right now.
Do we need to put this challenge to the chair's ruling to bed first?
I just want a wording for the minutes that we no longer meet in executive session regarding member money.
Member
Call the
And,
question.
more proper.
And then
All
we
right.
get to speak on what is going on right now. That was also part of my motion.
regarding member funds, and that we are able to tell members, inform members of what is happening, or, okay.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
The current business on the floor is that you ruled that this motion was out of order, and we are now challenging that ruling is being challenged.
Yeah,
I
and we need is that simple majority or 2/3?
It's simple majority.
All right. Well, if we want to just put that to a quick vote, that way we can move past that.
So where this is to sustain the rule of the chair, right? Is that how we're supposed to do it?
Correct.
So if you agree with the chair that this is out of order, you would vote yes. We're doing a voice vote, or you want me to do roll call?
Request for information.
Yes, Mr. Bowman?
I wish to hear what ruling is being either sustained or appealed at this moment.
I I ruled that how can I say Mr. Johnson had the best wording of it. Uh that due to the fact that would be because Ms. Carver had voted no on the motion that passed previously, that it was not up for a reconsideration from the interpretation. I mean, I could very well be wrong, but that's the ruling I
That's
just
yes.
from my understanding. So,
If we're going to speak on this, I mean, are we going to speak on this or just go to a vote?
I mean, I don't mind if people speak on it. I think it might be a little out of order, but I'd much rather people have a chance to say their piece. And I've seen Mr. Saliba had his hand up for a good minute now. So unless there's any opposition, I'd like to let at least the two board members with their hands up speak real fast. Well, three, because Mr. Duke. Um, so Mr. Saliba, if you don't mind.
Oh, well, I had my hand raised for like the next bit of open floor that comes up. But while I'm asking, is there anything stopping Dana from just making a new motion that doesn't count as being a reconsideration of the previous motion?
Yeah, I believe it is a little complicated from my understanding because we voted not to release the executive meetings after the conclusion of the Comerica case. If we wish to proceed um, without going into executive session on matters that were previously in there, we would have had to have released them publicly, to my knowledge. And that because she, as Mr. Johnson stated, had voted no on the main motion, that she would not be the one up for reconsideration. It would have to be somebody who voted yes. From everything I've gathered, that's where it stands.
Point of clarification, this would be a new motion because new information has been released to the public.
What, Dana? Could you elaborate? What new information? How?
The world knows that we hired a lawyer. The world knows that something is going on, but they don't know what it is going on. Some of them think we're filing a new lawsuit. Nobody knows what's going on, and the members deserve to know what's going on. And this is new information that wasn't released before, and now it's been accidentally released, and we just have to like go with it. Like, everybody knows it's been there. Everybody knows. And now they have even more questions, and we're sitting here not letting our members know this information, and that is sad as hell. We are supposed to be transparent. We cannot hide this from them.
All right, thank you. And like I said, I'm not really too opposed to it, but just from matter bylaw perspective, it's nothing personal. It's just from my interpretations, and I would like to see something publicly released. But Ms. Thornton, you had your hand up next.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, the move, and I'm going to say this again, the move to reconsider is only proper in the same meeting where the original motion was passed. This is not that meeting. So the rules for reconsideration don't apply here. If a motion failed in the last meeting, then what Larry is saying would be accurate. Dana could not bring it up again because if she voted for the losing side, then she can't keep bringing it up over and over again in the same meeting. However, there is nothing that prevents anybody from bringing up the same motion again in the next meeting. We can bring it up every single meeting until the end of time if we want to, and it can fail every single time. That's my point, that the reconsideration thing that Justin was standing on is just wrong. I mean, I don't think anybody wants me to get out the Holy Bible of Roner and start reading it, but it's only in the same meeting.
Can I ask a question about that?
Point of inquiry?
Sorry,
Yep.
yeah, point of inquiry. Angela, has that always been your opinion? Like that? This is
It's
that
not
how
my
you've always?
opinion. It's the way it is. I mean,
Is that how you've always thought of it being?
yes, and I know what you're going to say is about the email where I said that you couldn't. That was before Justin stepped down, and he wouldn't admit that he was wrong on that. So, but your the email motions are out of order. The email motions are out of order. Your motion was not out of order. You're allowed to make a motion. That's not a problem. The email reconsideration, postponing an action that the board had already taken because someone said they were going to make a motion was not proper. But it got really convoluted. I'd like to get back to where it should be. If you have a copy of Roner, it's pretty clear. A move to reconsider can only be made in the same meeting. There is an exception to that, but it has to do with conventions. If you have a convention that spans multiple days and something fails on the first day and then you change your mind and you want to go back and vote on it the second day, then it would apply. But we don't have that here. So a move to reconsider is not even valid here. Dana has the right to make the motion. We can vote it down again. That's not a problem, but it has to be done in the same, the reconsideration rules only apply to the same meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank
Point
you,
of,
Ann.
point of information, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Angela's argument has convinced me that I was wrong to argue that way. Does that change your ruling?
From what I just heard from her and the fact that you concur, it currently is changing how I would rule on that.
Yes, I think this motion may be proper.
Okay, in that case.
Was there a second?
What's that?
Was there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bowman just seconded. So, I mean, at this point, we can continue. I will refer,
I didn't second it.
Oh, I thought you said
There was no, I don't have a second. I think you ruled it out of order from what I see.
Yeah, I
Before we had a second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was me seconding it.
Okay, so I misheard. I will take back my ruling on that after hearing the conclusion of the debate. So it has been moved, seconded, and I retract my ruling that it was out of order. Thank you guys for your help on the clarifications on how that should be held. I do see Donna's hand up.
Oh, I was just going to add to this that it is not the same motion because I just looked it up. The previous motion was to release past files. This is a whole different motion. So really, there's another reason that it should be in order.
Okay, I appreciate that. And Ms. Carver, if you'd like to speak to your motion.
I would love to. Yeah, like I said, there's all this information out there and it's been confusing and there's been a lot of strife around it. You even alluded to that in your Wayne County meeting, like people don't know what's going on and they need to know what's going on, including your Wayne County people. There's a certain person that made us have to do this. So now that we've had to go here, we need to let the people know why we had to go here. We have to let them know that we had to have an attorney. We have to let them know that who this person is that's forcing us to do this. And it's already been released that we hired the attorney. I mean, we can't keep this from the people. It's their money and they want to know. Like I said, I've been browbeaten by 2 different freaking members of our party. One was the former chair's girlfriend. And I've been politely asked, and people want to know, and we cannot keep hiding this from them. It pains my heart that we were supposed to be a different freaking board. We were supposed to be transparent, and here we are hiding from them where their shit is. And yeah, no, we can't keep doing this.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carver. Mr. Bowman, you had your hand up next.
Yes, I I believe I agree with the general sentiment that we need to release substantive information to the full membership regarding what the status of this case is. And also, someone I just saw post something in the chat that the resignation letter was somehow confidential. I don't think that's the case. Resignation letter is a resignation letter, and I think everyone's entitled to see that. But anyway, and so I agree with that sentiment. I don't think this is the right way to do it. And we already had things in the executive session on the understanding that it was in an executive session. We already had a vote on a way to deal with this previously, and that was to release the information at the conclusion of this case, which may be very soon. However, I do agree we need to release something right now. And so for that reason, I think the appropriate thing to do is to go into an executive session, and we discussed this in the committee meeting, that we go into an executive session, enumerate what basic points we want to release. We don't have to draft the whole document right then, but just approve which points, which facts we want to release. And I think we had discussed a few of them that didn't come up in the report from the committee at this meeting that I thought would. And vote on that as a body, that we're going to release this, and that bit of information. How it's worded, can be worked out later, but just the basic substance, and put that out there to the membership. That's what I think the best and most prudent course of action is to do. And so for that reason, I would vote against Dana's motion, though I agree with the sentiment, and I would favor going into an executive session to vote on what to release outside of executive session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, I agree with Scotty. I mean, I don't think we should release everything at this point, and I believe Dana's motion is more about releasing things in the future. There may be some details of what were discussed in executive session that should not be released, but we do definitely need to respond. Some of the accusations being made include the fact that there was conflicts of interest with the lawyer we decided to hire, when we all discussed it in executive session and decided that those conflicts a substantial percentage of us agreed that those conflicts did not exist. And that's part of what caused Mr. Miramati's resignation, was he disagreed with that decision. So there's a lot of wild accusations being thrown around out there on fairly open social media, and I think we do need to respond. But I agree with Scotty. Perhaps going into a short executive session and discussing what can and cannot be released would be a good thing, because we need to make some type of a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Duke.
When I raised my hand, I think I was at a different point, but I agree with Dana's motion. If the motion is to inform the members, I'm not sure if there's been a second. We were sort of appealing the ruling of the chair. We're very convoluted, but I agree with Dana.
There was second. Yeah, there was several seconds actually.
Perfect. Then I'm honestly not quite aware of what Dana's motion exactly is, but I do want to release information. It has been made public through other people that maybe should have or shouldn't have released information. In this chat alone, there is reference to an individual who was hired that I'm not sure was truly made public yet. We're walking a fine line of what we can't say because it occurred in executive session, but it's already been released to the public. So let's just agree to put it all out there. I believe it was Dana who referenced other individuals are questioning the motives of this board. And I truly believe the questions being asked of this board, such as how much money was spent on lawfare, the question is invalid. because the individual doesn't understand what occurred in executive session. If we can just put it out to the public, a lot of the questions will go away because the answers will be provided.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Mr. Saliba.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything. Everything Andrew just said, everything that's been going on. And I just kind of wanted to put it out. This was going to be my open floor subject, but now I feel like it might influence some votes going forward, or however we're going to do this. But I think people have probably noticed that in the last several meetings, my participation has ticked up because I've been getting more and more frustrated with the situation. And one thing that I've been considering for a couple of weeks is, as just a participant in the case, I have a lot of information that came to me prior to any executive sessions. So I'm not really breaking executive sessions if I make some sort of grand announcement about it on social media or what have you. And as things have been progressive, I've been putting that to the back burner because I'm hoping, things are starting to move along and some changes have been made. And just, more has taken place. But I could still do that. And if I get frustrated to the point or enough people tell me they want me to, I could just make some sort of announcement where I say all kinds of stuff that you guys know because of executive session, but I already knew, so I wouldn't be violating executive session. We could get to that point. So,
All right, thank you for that input, Mr. Saliba. It's very possible. Mr. Esner.
Yeah, I support what Scotty is suggesting. I think that we should make a statement. I think we should be careful about what we say. I think that there's a high possibility that information that is sent out, depending on what it is, can be used by people who might cause us some trouble. And let's put it this way, I think we need to try and keep it simple. We need to not try and go around the board by making mistakes. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I just want to be careful about us going around the intent of prior votes, prior things. And it just seems like it's very conveniently timed things that are happening. And I don't think anybody's intentionally doing something, but we need to be much more careful about what we're doing, much more careful about what we're sending out. Donna can attest that when she sent out just the information on today's meeting, and I saw it, I knew it came to my LPMI email, but it also came to my my on file email, and I'm like, why is this getting sent both ways? Stuff's leaking, stuff, whether intentionally or not. I'm not passing judgment at all. But the problem is that we have a habit of not being secure, not being responsible, and we're getting sloppy, we're getting messy, and I think it. And I see the chat, and I think we need to be careful because I think that there's a potential that someone is using all the information we send out there against us, and we may make the argument that they can find it out regardless, but we still have problems. I don't want to cause more problems. I want to mitigate problems and move on.
Thank you, Mr. Esner. Ms. Carver, was your hand still up or did it go back up?
It went back up.
Then you're next.
All right. So first of all, I had another thing, but then when Mr. Esner talked, Mr. Esner, I'm sorry, you're new here. Prior to Andrew, we weren't in executive session all the time. We weren't like ever. No, we didn't do this. We didn't have to hide things from the members. This is new. This is all Andrew Chatterton kind of shit. So no, we don't have to keep hiding from them. There's no reason to hide this from the members. Also, I personally have been terrorized over this freaking hiding of this shit. Like, I'm at the point where I'm going to ask everyone, and whoever wants to cross talk, feel free. What would you do to me when I start defending myself on these accusations and this bullshit that's been pushed against me over all this shit? You guys want to keep hiding this. I'm personally one of the ones that is getting attacked over this shit, and I'm about to talk out. So I need to know what you're going to do to me. Like, are you going to remove me from the board, or, where are we going to go with this? Because I can't do this anymore. I cannot hide from the members. I cannot be terrorized, and I cannot be attacked. I'm freaking done with this stupid shit, and I'm so sorry.
Well, all right, Ms. Carver, your frustration is duly noted and probably well deserved. Thank you for that. Mr. Johnson, your hand up was next.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that we definitely need to release some information, but just because someone either through accident or deliberately released information that they should not have is not a reason for us to suddenly go and start releasing information that we know we should not. If someone else broke the law, that's not an excuse for me to break the law, or in this case, the rules. We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard on that. That being said, I definitely think that we need to approach something about releasing information from executive sessions, short of maybe a few specific items that shouldn't be. And we do need to do something here. We need to let some information out. I'm not sure if this motion achieves that, but we definitely need to make some type of a statement. A lot of this information is leaking out, but in very warped forms. And we need to make sure that it's put out in its true form. That's all I have for right now.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Duke?
I truly respect Mr. Johnson's analysis right there. I agree with it. I also agree with Dana on releasing the information. And the reason I rose my hand was to address Mr. Saliba, Mrs. Angela Thornton Canny, I'm not sure your last name actually, and Mr. Brungart, two of whom are on the board, that I ask you not to release information as litigants, but to cooperate or agree with what the board decides. That was the primary reason. Mr. Saliba, your comments about releasing information, which you've made on Facebook and in this meeting, I don't agree with. I will respect that you can, but I ask that you don't.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Duke, for that. Mr. Essner, you are next.
Thank you. I know this is my second time speaking. This is the last time. I'm gonna echo a lot of what Mr. Johnson said, and I do want to kind of address something that was mentioned about me being new and stuff, and certain people being feeling like they're under attack and things of that nature. I do know that I personally was representing the members of my district, my region, whether they were acting in good faith or not. I did, and I experienced some personal attacks because of that, and some unilateral decisions by certain people. Who they are, I don't know. But what I do know is that Dana is not the only person who has stuff on the line here. We all have something on the line here. We all need to be conscious and careful so we don't harm and hurt others. And I echo what Scotty said earlier. I echo what Mr. Johnson said earlier. I think that we should go into executive session and have a serious discussion about what should be released, what shouldn't be released, and make a real statement. Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Third.
Was that an amended amendment to the
Wait a
motion?
second. Yeah,
I
what the
withdraw
heck?
my motion. Am I available to withdraw my motion and we go into goddamn executive session and get this done, please?
No, seconded.
Unfortunate, but we can do a quick vote if everyone wants to do that real fast. You know, if we vote
Call
you
the
down,
question.
okay. All in favor of calling the question, say aye.
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 All right. All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions other than myself? All right, question is called. All in favor of Donna's motion, say aye.
Point of information.
Yeah.
Is this including the amendment that Charles made and I seconded?
Well, it was an amendment. I thought we were okay. Can the amendment be restated?
I don't have an amendment.
Okay. It's an amendment by substitution that we go into executive session and vote on what specific bits of information we wish to release. And that's it.
All right. All in favor of said motion, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Any abstentions other than myself?
I would call myself an abstention because, yeah.
All right. Then that amendment passes. So, all in favor of the main motion now on the floor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
One nay. Any abstentions other than myself?
I will abstain.
All right. Ms. Thornton abstains. That motion passes. I believe that since it was wrapped in, we are going to go into executive session. I don't think it needs a second motion.
May I make a motion that we include Joe Brungard in executive session?
Second.
All right. All in favor of including Mr. Brumgart in executive session? Any
Aye.
debate?
Aye.
We'll just go straight to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions other than myself? All right, Mr. Brumgart, we're going to bring you in. And can we go directly to executive session at this point?
No, I need to stop and start the recording.